You've just moved to America for work, and your first day starts with gunshots at dawn, ends with someone demanding to speak to your manager, and somehow involves avocado toast and a heated argument about pronouns. Before we go in, drop a comment with what time you're watching this right now. Smash that like button and subscribe, because navigating America is going to require professional help. And we shall begin. Welcome to your new life in America, where every day feels like stumbling through a reality show. Your company transferred you here for a year-long project, and you're about to discover that everything you thought you knew about Americans was somehow both completely wrong and disturbingly accurate. From your suburban rental house, you'll encounter neighbors, co-workers, service workers, and random strangers who seem to have stepped directly out of every American stereotype ever created. The beautiful part, they're all completely real and utterly convinced they represent the best of what America has to offer. Type 1, the gun-toting patriot. You wake up at 5:30 in the morning to the sound of freedom. Not birds chirping or alarm clocks. Actual gunshots from your neighbor's property. Again, welcome to suburban Texas, where your next-door neighbor Chuck Henderson believes target practice at dawn is a constitutional right and noise ordinances are government overreach. Chuck is 47 years old and owns enough firearms to arm a small country, which, coincidentally, is exactly what he's preparing for every single day of his patriotic life. You stumble outside in your pajamas to investigate the commotion and find Chuck in full camouflage gear, methodically testing his latest firearm acquisition while drinking black coffee from a mug that reads, "Come and take it." "Morning, neighbor." Chuck waves enthusiastically, apparently unaware that most people consider 6 a.m. target practice a war crime. Just making sure everything's in working order. You never know when you might need to defend your property. Chuck's morning routine starts with checking his 17 different firearms. Not because he's expecting trouble, but because a real American never leaves the house unprepared for the collapse of civilization, zombie apocalypse, or particularly aggressive Girl Scout cookie sales. The man owns 3 AR-15 SEC, not because he needs 3, but because the Second Amendment doesn't come with quantity limits, and Chuck takes his constitutional rights more seriously than most people take their wedding vows. His wardrobe consists entirely of camouflage, hunting camo, military surplus camo, and his personal favourite Arbon camo for trips to Walmart. Chuck genuinely believes blending into his surroundings gives him a tactical advantage at the cereal aisle. The walls of Chuck's house are covered with American flags of every size imaginable, small desk flags, massive wall hangings, and his prized possession, a flag so enormous it requires its own flagpole and engineering consultation. Chuck salutes it every morning while planning his day around maximum freedom. His truck is basically a mobile advertisement for the Second Amendment. Bumper stickers proclaim everything from constitutional quotes to warnings about government tyranny. The back window features a family sticker, but instead of people, it's various firearms representing each family member. His wife is apparently a pistol. Every conversation with Chuck eventually leads to one of 3 topics: constitutional rights, government overreach, or the proper way to maintain a hunting rifle. He can discuss barrel cleaning for hours, while never once explaining why anyone needs a rifle that can shoot through engine blocks. Chuck works at the local hardware store, where he's considered the unofficial expert on home security. His advice always involves multiple layers of defense, motion sensors, and at least 2 backup weapons. Customers come in looking for door locks and leave with detailed fortress modification plans. His idea of date night involves taking his wife to the shooting range. Romance isn't dead in Chuck's world. It's just heavily armed and practicing for accuracy competitions. Chuck's garage contains more ammunition than most small-town police departments. Boxes upon boxes of bullets, organised by caliber, purpose, and apocalypse scenario. He has hunting rounds, target practice rounds, and his special collection of rounds for when the time comes. Nobody asks what time he's referring to. The local gun shop knows Chuck by name and automatically sets aside new inventory for his inspection. He's what they call a loyal customer, which is gun shop speak for single-handedly keeping our children in private school. His basement serves as both workshop and bunker. Half the space is dedicated to reloading ammunition, while the other half stores enough canned goods to survive the collapse of Western civilization. Chuck calls it preparedness. The fire department calls it a legitimate concern. Chuck's phone wallpaper is the Constitution. Not the whole thing, mind you. Just the Second Amendment blown up to maximum font size. He can recite it from memory, complete with his own creative interpretations of what well-regulated militia actually means in modern suburban contexts. Family barbecues at Chuck's house always include a demonstration of his latest firearm acquisition. Nothing says welcome to the neighbourhood like showing off your new semi-automatic rifle while flipping hamburgers. The other neighbours have stopped attending these gatherings. Chuck genuinely believes he's protecting American values through his lifestyle choices. Every gun purchase is a vote for freedom. Every camouflage outfit is a statement of patriotic intent. Every constitutional discussion is a small victory against creeping government oppression. The beautiful irony is that Chuck's version of patriotism involves preparing for war against his own country. He loves America so much he's ready to fight it at a moment's notice. Logic isn't exactly Chuck's strongest suit, but his conviction is absolutely unshakable. Chuck represents millions of Americans who genuinely believe that owning enough weapons to outfit a small army makes them patriotic. They're not wrong exactly, but they're not entirely right either. They're just very, very American in ways that make the rest of the world nervous. After 2 weeks of dawn gunfire serving as your alarm clock, you decide to explore other parts of your new American neighborhood, which leads you to discover that Chuck's aggressive patriotism is actually quite mild compared to what's waiting for you down south. Part 1, the gun-toting patriot. You wake up at 5:30 in the morning to the sound of freedom, not birds chirping or alarm clocks, actual gunshots from your neighbor's property. Meet Chuck Henderson, 47 years old, and owner of enough firearms to arm a small country, which, coincidentally, is exactly what he's preparing for. Chuck's morning routine starts with checking his 17 different firearms, not because he's expecting trouble, but because a real American never leaves the house unprepared for the collapse of civilization. His coffee mug reads, "Come and take it," in bold letters, and he means every word. The man owns 3 AR-15 sets, not because he needs 3, but because the Second Amendment doesn't come with quantity limits, and Chuck takes his constitutional rights very seriously indeed. His wardrobe consists entirely of camouflage, hunting camo, military surplus camo, and his personal favourite urban camo for trips to Walmart. Chuck genuinely believes blending into his surroundings gives him a tactical advantage at the grocery store. The walls of his house are covered with American flags of every size imaginable. Small desk flags, massive wall hangings, and his prized possession, a flag so large it requires its own flagpole in the backyard. Chuck salutes it every morning while drinking his black coffee and planning his day around maximum freedom. Chuck's truck is basically a mobile advertisement for the Second Amendment. Bumper stickers proclaim everything from Molen Labe to God, guns and country. The back window features a family sticker, but instead of people, it's various firearms representing each family member. His wife is a pistol, naturally. Every conversation with Chuck eventually leads to one of 3 topics: constitutional rights, government overreach, or the proper way to clean a hunting rifle. He can discuss barrel maintenance for hours while never once mentioning why someone might need a rifle that can shoot through engine blocks. Chuck works at the local hardware store where he's considered the unofficial expert on home security. His advice always involves multiple layers of defense, motion sensors, and at least 2 backup weapons. Customers come in looking for door locks and leave with detailed plans for fortress-like modifications. His idea of date night involves taking his wife to the shooting range. Romance is dead, but Chuck's aim certainly isn't. They spend quality time together discussing bullet trajectories and comparing accuracy scores like other couples might debate restaurant choices. Chuck's garage contains more ammunition than most small-town police departments, boxes upon boxes of bullets, organised by calibre and purpose. He has hunting rounds, target practice rounds, and his special collection of rounds for when the time comes. Nobody asks what time he's referring to. The local gun shop knows Chuck by name and automatically sets aside new inventory for his inspection. He's what they call a loyal customer, which is gun shop speak for single-handedly keeping us in business. Chuck considers this his civic duty. His basement serves as both workshop and bunker. Half the space is dedicated to reloading ammunition, while the other half stores enough canned goods to survive the apocalypse. Chuck calls it preparedness. Everyone else calls it concerning. Chuck's phone wallpaper is the Constitution. Not the whole thing, mind you, just the Second Amendment blown up to maximum font size. He can recite it from memory, complete with his own creative interpretations of what well-regulated militia actually means. Family barbecues at Chuck's house always include a demonstration of his latest firearm acquisition. Nothing says welcome to the neighbourhood like showing off your new semi-automatic rifle while flipping burgers. The neighbours have stopped attending these gatherings. Chuck's political views can be summarised quite simply. Any politician who supports gun control is a tyrant, and any politician who doesn't support gun control enough is also probably a tyrant. Democracy is complicated that way. His favourite holiday is the 4th of July. Naturally, Chuck celebrates America's independence by firing various weapons into the air while wearing his finest camouflage outfit. The local fire department has learned to expect his annual celebration. Chuck genuinely believes he's protecting American values through his lifestyle choices. Every gun purchase is a vote for freedom. Every camouflage outfit is a statement of patriotic intent. Every constitutional discussion is a small victory against government oppression. The beautiful irony is that Chuck's version of patriotism involves preparing for war against his own country. He loves America so much, he's ready to fight it at a moment's notice. Logic isn't exactly Chuck's strongest suit, but his conviction is absolutely unshakable. His social media presence consists entirely of gun photos, constitutional quotes, and memes about government overreach. Chuck has strong opinions about everything from taxation to street signs, and he's never met a conspiracy theory he couldn't incorporate into his worldview. Chuck represents millions of Americans who genuinely believe that owning enough weapons to outfit a small army makes them patriotic. They're not wrong, exactly, but they're not right either. They're just very, very American. The real tragedy is that Chuck is actually a decent person underneath all the tactical gear and constitutional rhetoric. He'd help his neighbours in a crisis, volunteer for community projects, and genuinely cares about his country. He just expresses that care through weapon accumulation and government suspicion. Which brings us to our next character, who shares Chuck's love of country but expresses it through entirely different means. Type 2, the Southern Belle. Your work sends you on a business trip to Georgia, where you discover that Southern hospitality is both a genuine art form and a weapon of mass passive aggression deployed with surgical precision. You arrive at the client meeting 15 minutes early, which in Southern time means you're practically late, and immediately encounter Magnolia Sue Patterson in the company's reception area. Magnolia is 34 years old and living proof that looking effortlessly elegant requires the kind of effort usually reserved for space missions and royal weddings. Her accent is so thick you could serve it over biscuits. Every sentence drips with molasses-sweet vowels that stretch longer than a Mississippi summer afternoon. Magnolia doesn't just speak, she performs every conversation like she's auditioning for a Tennessee Williams revival. Well, bless your heart, you must be our visitor from up north, she announces, somehow making up north sound like a communicable disease. Sugar, you look absolutely parched. Let me get you some sweet tea before we get started. The sweet tea arrives in a glass large enough to baptize small children, with enough sugar content to preserve organic matter for geological ages. Refusing a second glass is considered both rude and suspicious. Magnolia's office is decorated like a Southern Living magazine, exploded in the most expensive way possible. Every surface features fresh flowers, antique accessories and throw pillows that cost more than most people's monthly salary. You're afraid to touch anything. She refers to everyone as sugar, honey or darling, regardless of their actual relationship status or professional hierarchy. This isn't affection, it's Southern women's code for I'm being polite while secretly cataloguing everything wrong with your life choices. The woman has never met a monogram she didn't love. Her business cards are monogrammed. Her coffee mug is monogrammed. Her computer mousepad features her initials in elegant script. If Magnolia could monogram the air she breathes, she absolutely would, and she'd make it look classy. Magnolia's version of business attire consists entirely of dresses, because pants are what women wear when they've completely given up on life, proper upbringing, and basic standards of feminine presentation. Each outfit is coordinated with matching accessories and shoes that click decisively on hardwood floors. Her professional networking strategy involves knowing every piece of local business gossip before it becomes official news. Magnolia doesn't just attend Chamber of Commerce meetings, she orchestrates them with the precision of a military campaign and the efficiency of a Swiss timepiece. Now, darling, I hope you don't mind me asking, but are you married? Magnolia inquires during your supposedly professional lunch meeting, because I know the sweetest girl who would just be perfect for someone like you. She's got excellent breeding and makes the most divine cornbread. Her relationship with technology is purely functional and slightly suspicious. Magnolia uses Facebook to share family photos and church events, but considers Twitter too aggressive and Instagram too worldly for proper Christian women. She prefers face-to-face information gathering systems. The local country club knows Magnolia by sight and slightly fears her organisational capabilities. She's chaired more fundraising committees than most people join in a lifetime, and her ability to extract donations from reluctant donors is legendary throughout 3 counties. Magnolia can deliver the most devastating professional criticism while maintaining a smile that could power small cities. Well, bless your heart. That's certainly an interesting approach to client relations. Translates to roughly 17 different levels of condescension, depending on tone, context, and witness availability. Her lunch consists of a salad that costs $37 and contains enough exotic ingredients to stock a gourmet grocery store. Magnolia eats exactly half, claiming she's just not that hungry today, which is Southern lady code for I maintain my figure through strategic starvation. She genuinely believes that proper manners, traditional values, and excellent hospitality can solve most of the world's business problems. Magnolia isn't entirely wrong, but a definition of proper requires cultural conditioning that most people lack. Sugar, you simply must try my grandmother's peach cobbler recipe, Magnolia insists, producing a handwritten card from her monogrammed purse. It's been in our family for 4 generations, and I just know you'll absolutely love it. The secret is using real butter and saying a little prayer while you're mixing. Her business philosophy operates on clearly defined traditional principles wrapped in enough charm to disguise their absolute inflexibility. Magnolia believes in personal service, community connections, and the power of well-timed compliments to achieve professional objectives. The meeting concludes with Magnolia extracting promises to visit her church. If you're ever back in town, try her cobbler recipe and consider relocating to Georgia, where people still understand the value of proper upbringing and community spirit. You leave Georgia with a contact list of Magnolia's extended family members across the South, 3 different sweet tea recipes, and the distinct feeling that you've been politely but thoroughly interrogated by a master of social intelligence gathering. Your next business trip takes you to California, where you'll discover that Southern charm and West Coast chill operate according to completely different rules of human interaction. Type 3, the California Surfer Dude. Your company's West Coast office is located in Santa Monica, where you quickly discover that professional dress codes are more like gentle suggestions, and stressed is apparently a personality disorder that requires immediate chakra realignment. You walk into the shared workspace at 9 a.m. sharp and immediately spot your new project coordinator, Kyle Sunshine Rodriguez, meditating in the corner next to a collection of succulents that probably cost more than your monthly rent. Kyle is 28 years old, perpetually barefoot, and living proof that you can turn avoiding responsibility into a lifestyle philosophy with enough positive energy and organic kombucha. "Whoa, dude, you're like super early," Kyle observes, opening his eyes slowly as if returning from a spiritual journey to the office supply closet. "I was just centering my energy for our collaboration. The universe is totally aligned for productivity today." Kyle's morning routine involves 20 minutes of meditation, a smoothie containing ingredients you've never heard of, and checking the surf conditions, even though he lives 3 miles from the beach and doesn't own a car. His wardrobe consists entirely of hemp clothing, vintage band t-shirts, and flip-flops that have achieved legendary status among his friend group. Kyle considers shoes a form of oppression and socks a crime against natural foot breathing. "No worries, bro. We'll totally figure this project out," Kyle assures you while rolling out a yoga mat in the conference room. "I do my best thinking in downward dog. Want to join? I've got an extra mat in my van." Kyle's van is parked outside, covered in bumper stickers, promoting everything from hemp legalization to dolphin consciousness. The interior smells like patchouli, dreams, and questionable life choices. He calls it his mobile office and spiritual retreat center. His approach to project management involves vision boards, group meditation sessions, and lengthy discussions about how corporate stress disrupts natural energy flow. Traditional deadlines are replaced with organic completion timelines that honor the creative process. "Dude, you seem really tense about this whole timeline thing," Kyle observes during your first planning meeting. "Have you tried CBD? I know this amazing place that makes artisanal tinctures with healing crystals. It's totally life-changing." Kyle's desk is decorated with crystals, essential oil diffusers, and motivational quotes printed on recycled paper. His computer wallpaper cycles through sunset beach photos and inspirational messages about following your bliss and trusting the journey. His lunch consists of a $25 acai bowl topped with superfoods you can't pronounce. Kyle eats slowly, mindfully, explaining the spiritual significance of each ingredient while you watch your sandwich with newfound inadequacy. "The thing about corporate culture is it's totally disconnected from natural rhythms," Kyle explains between bites of activated charcoal smoothie. "Like, why are we forcing ourselves to be productive when Mercury is in retrograde? It's cosmic self-sabotage." Kyle's version of professional networking involves inviting clients to sound baths, full moon ceremonies, and weekend retreats focused on aligning business goals with chakra energy. His success rate is surprisingly high among certain demographics. His relationship with technology is complicated by his belief that too much screen time disrupts spiritual equilibrium. Kyle checks email twice daily, preferably during optimal astrological windows, and responds to urgent requests with gentle reminders about maintaining work-life balance. "I'm not saying we can't meet the deadline," Kyle clarifies during a particularly stressful week. "I'm just saying we should ask ourselves why we're allowing external pressures to disturb our inner peace. Maybe the universe is trying to teach us something about patience." His apartment is a shrine to conscious living and questionable financial decisions. Expensive organic everything, meditation cushions and plants that require more care than most people's children. Kyle considers it an investment in his spiritual development and environmental karma. Kyle genuinely believes that positive thinking, natural healing, and good vibes can solve most of the world's problems. He's not entirely wrong, but his solutions require lifestyle changes that most people can't afford financially or emotionally. "Bro, you should totally come to my sound healing circle this weekend," Kyle suggests on Friday afternoon. "We're working with Tibetan singing bowls and crystal frequencies. It's like a software update for your soul." His business philosophy operates on the principle that success should feel good, look good, and contribute to universal harmony. Kyle isn't opposed to making money, but only if it aligns with his values and doesn't harsh anyone's mellow. The project somehow gets completed on time, mainly because Kyle's assistant does most of the actual work while he provides creative energy and spiritual guidance. His final presentation includes slides about mindful productivity and sustainable business practices. You leave California with a collection of organic tea samples, business cards for 3 different meditation teachers, and the distinct feeling that maybe everyone else is taking life too seriously. Your next assignment takes you to New York City, where you'll discover that West Coast chill and East Coast hustle operate according to completely different laws of physics and human endurance. Type 4, the New York Hustler. Your company relocates you to the Manhattan office, where you discover that walking at normal human speed is considered a form of performance art, and everyone speaks in abbreviated sentences because time is literally money. You step off the subway at rush hour and immediately get swept into a river of humanity, moving at the speed of caffeinated anxiety. That's when you first encounter Tony Castellano, 35 years old, and living proof that some people are born with espresso instead of blood. Hey you, the new guy from corporate. Yeah, great, walk faster, we're late for a meeting that started 5 minutes ago and I got 3 other calls I gotta take before we get there. Tony is already walking away before he finishes talking, phone pressed to his ear, gesturing wildly at invisible obstacles that dare to impede his forward momentum. You follow him through the streets like a confused tourist, dodging hot dog carts and other New Yorkers who move with similar purpose. His morning routine starts at 5 a.m. with a workout that would kill most people, followed by the first of 12 cups of coffee and a protein shake that costs more than some people's hourly wage. Tony considers sleep a luxury for people without ambition. Listen, I don't got time to explain everything twice, so pay attention, Tony announces. You arrive at the office building. This elevator's too slow, we're taking the stairs. 14 floors, good cardio. Time is money, money is time. Stairs are free exercise. Tony's desk looks like a tornado hit electronic store. Multiple monitors, 3 phones, 2 tablets, and enough cables to wire a small building. He operates all of them simultaneously, while maintaining conversations with at least 4 different people. His wardrobe consists entirely of expensive suits that cost more than most people's cars, purchased during brief shopping trips that last exactly 27 minutes. Tony doesn't browse, he conquers retail establishments with surgical precision and unlimited credit. You drink coffee? Good. There's a place 2 blocks away. Best espresso in the city. 40-second trip including walking time. Don't order anything fancy. Just tell them Tony sent you. They'll know what you need. The coffee shop knows Tony by sight and has his order ready before he finishes walking through the door. Triple espresso, no sugar, served in a cup designed for maximum portability and minimum spillage during rapid transit. Tony's version of lunch is a 20-minute power meal where he simultaneously eats, checks emails, takes calls, and plans his afternoon schedule. Food is fuel, not entertainment, and every bite is optimized for maximum nutritional efficiency. See, the thing about this city is you gotta move fast or you get left behind, Tony explains while speed walking to the next appointment. Everyone's got somewhere to be, everyone's chasing something, and if you're not hustling, you're dying. That's just the reality. His apartment is located in a building where the rent costs more than most people's annual salary. But Tony considers it an investment in proximity. Every minute saved on commuting is a minute gained for productivity, profit, or the pursuit of bigger opportunities. Tony's social life operates according to the same efficiency principles as his professional life. Dinner reservations are made at restaurants with proven track records, optimal locations, and service fast enough to accommodate his schedule. You seem stressed about the pace, Tony observes during a brief taxi ride between meetings. That's normal. Everyone thinks they can handle New York until they actually try to handle New York. The city doesn't slow down for anyone. His business philosophy is beautifully simple. Work harder than everyone else, move faster than everyone else, and never accept second place in anything. Tony isn't competing with other people, he's competing with time itself. The man carries 3 phones because one might break, one might run out of battery, and the third one is for emergencies that require immediate communication with people who don't answer the first 2 phones. I got a guy for everything. Tony mentions while solving a complex logistical problem with a series of rapid phone calls. Need a car? I got a guy. Need a restaurant reservation? I got a guy. Need permits for construction? I definitely got a guy. Tony's network consists of thousands of people who owe him favours, need favours, or provide services essential to maintaining his velocity through life. He doesn't have friends. He has contacts, connections, and strategic relationships. His weekend routine involves activities that would exhaust most people during a full week. Rock climbing in the morning, business networking lunch, Broadway show with clients, and late-night planning sessions for the following week's conquests. The secret to success in this city is simple. Tony explains during the elevator ride to another meeting. You gotta want it more than the next guy. You gotta work harder than the next guy. And you gotta move faster than everyone else combined. Tony genuinely believes that intensity, speed, and relentless ambition are the keys to achieving the American dream. He's not wrong, but his version of success requires sacrificing most of the things that make life worth living. You survive 3 months in New York by learning to walk faster, talk faster, and drink more coffee than should be humanly possible. Tony's energy is infectious, exhausting, and somehow inspiring despite being completely unsustainable. Your next assignment sends you to suburban Chicago, where you'll discover that Midwestern nice and East Coast hustle create fascinating cultural whiplash when experienced back-to-back. Type 5, the soccer mom. You move to suburban Chicago for your next project and immediately notice that every third vehicle is a minivan driven by women who seem to operate according to a complex scheduling system that would impress military logistics coordinators. Your new neighbour introduces herself while unloading approximately 47 bags from her Honda Odyssey, each containing supplies for activities you didn't know existed. Hi there, I'm Jennifer, but everyone calls me Jen, and welcome to the neighbourhood. She pauses to check her phone, which is buzzing with what sounds like 17 different notification tones. Sorry, soccer practice changed venues again, and I need to alert the mom network before chaos ensues. Jen Morrison is 39 years old, and living proof that managing 3 children's schedules requires skills that would qualify her for air traffic control certification. Her daily routine makes Tony's New York hustle look like a peaceful meditation retreat. Her minivan is a mobile command center, equipped with snacks for every dietary restriction, sports equipment for multiple seasons, emergency supplies for apocalyptic scenarios, and a coffee system that would impress professional baristas. Oh, you're working from home? That's wonderful. I'm always here if you need anything. Except between 8 and 9 when I'm doing school drop-off, 9:30 to 11 for yoga and grocery shopping, 11:15 to 12:30 for volunteer work at the school, 1 to 3 for pick-up and activities coordination, 3 to 6 for practice shuttling, and after 6 I'm usually helping with homework or making dinner. Jen's morning starts at 5:30 with a workout routine squeezed between preparing 3 different breakfast preferences for 3 different children with 3 completely different activity schedules that somehow all require her presence simultaneously. Her purse contains enough supplies to survive a zombie apocalypse: band-aids, snacks, toys, electronics chargers, spare clothes, medications, tissues, wet wipes, and a scheduling system that rivals NASA mission planning in complexity and importance. I know it seems overwhelming, Jen explains while organising a carpool schedule that involves colour-coded spreadsheets and backup contingency plans. But you develop a system. Everything has to be planned in advance, because one scheduling conflict can create a domino effect that destroys the entire week. The local Starbucks knows Jen's order by heart, and has it ready when her minivan pulls into the drive-thru at exactly 7:43 every morning. Venti coffee with 2 shots, oat milk, sugar-free vanilla, served in a cup designed for maximum caffeine delivery during high-stress transportation. Jen's involvement in school activities borders on professional-level commitment. She volunteers for committees, organises fundraisers, coordinates events, and somehow maintains detailed knowledge of every child's academic progress, dietary restrictions and social dynamics. The key to successful parenting in the suburbs is communication and preparation. Jen explains while simultaneously texting 3 different mom groups about practice schedule changes. You have to stay ahead of everything because kids don't understand that logistics require advanced planning. Her kitchen operates like a restaurant designed to accommodate multiple dietary preferences, scheduling conflicts, and nutritional requirements that change daily based on athletic performance needs and peer influence factors. Jen's social life consists entirely of interactions with other parents during activities, school events, and brief conversations in grocery store aisles while racing against time constraints imposed by pickup schedules. "I love being a mum. Don't get me wrong," Jen clarifies during a rare moment of stillness while waiting for soccer practice to end. "But sometimes I miss having conversations that don't involve scheduling, nutrition, or whose turn it is to bring orange slices." Her vehicle maintenance knowledge rivals professional mechanics because minivan reliability is essential to maintaining family logistics. Jen can diagnose engine problems, change tyres, and perform emergency repairs using only supplies found in her extremely well-stocked emergency kit. The woman's ability to multitask defies basic laws of human cognitive capacity. She can drive, navigate, mediate sibling conflicts, take work calls, and plan dinner while monitoring weather conditions that might affect outdoor activities. "You learn to prioritize," Jen explains while coordinating a complex pickup schedule involving 4 different locations and 3 time zones of after-school activities. Family comes first, but family requires massive organizational effort to function properly. Her relationship with technology consists of approximately 12 different apps designed to coordinate schedules, communicate with other parents, track children's locations, and maintain the complex social networks required for suburban family survival. Jen genuinely believes that dedicated parenting, community involvement, and proper organization can create the ideal childhood experience for her children. She's probably right, but the personal cost involves sacrificing most aspects of individual identity. The hardest part isn't the driving or the scheduling, Jen admits during a brief coffee break between activities. It's remembering who you were before you became a logistics coordinator for other people's dreams. You spend 2 months observing Jen's operation and develop genuine respect for the organizational skills required to maintain suburban family life. Her efficiency would impress corporate executives, but her rewards are measured in children's happiness rather than profit margins. Your company transfers you to a small Midwestern town, where you'll discover that suburban soccer mom energy translates into an entirely different cultural phenomenon when applied to rural community dynamics. Type 6, the Midwest Nice. You relocate to a small town in Minnesota for a special project, where you quickly discover that nice is both a genuine personality trait and a complex social warfare system disguised as politeness. Your landlord, Betty Lou Anderson, greets you at the rental property with a casserole, detailed weather warnings, and enough apologetic phrases to power a small guilt factory. "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry the place isn't perfect yet," Betty Lou begins, "even though the apartment is spotless enough to perform surgery. I just feel terrible that you have to see it like this, but I hope it'll be okay for now, if that's alright with you, I mean." Betty Lou is 52 years old and living proof that excessive politeness can become a form of performance art that makes everyone involved slightly uncomfortable while remaining completely genuine. Her morning routine involves checking on 6 different neighbours, apologising for bothering them, offering help they don't need, and feeling guilty about not doing more for people who specifically asked her to stop bringing them baked goods. "I hope you don't mind me asking, but are you settling in okay?" Betty Lou inquires while delivering homemade cookies that nobody requested. "I just worry that you might need something, and be too polite to ask, though I suppose I'm probably bothering you by asking." The local grocery store operates according to complex social protocols that require acknowledging every person you've ever met, inquiring about their family's health, and apologising for taking up their valuable time while conducting these mandatory social interactions. Betty Lou's approach to conflict resolution involves avoiding confrontation at all costs while maintaining detailed mental records of every social slight for future passive-aggressive reference during appropriate community gatherings. "Oh, I shouldn't complain," Betty Lou explains, while describing legitimate problems with local government services. "I'm sure they're doing their best, and who am I to criticise, really? I just feel bad for even mentioning it, you know? Her house is permanently ready for unexpected guests, with fresh coffee, multiple dessert options, and comfortable seating arrangements designed to accommodate extended conversations about weather patterns, family updates, and mutual acquaintances' recent activities." The town's social hierarchy operates through a complex system of volunteer commitments, church attendance, and hottish contributions to community events. Betty Lou participates in everything, while apologising for not doing enough. "I hope it's okay if I mention this," Betty Lou ventures carefully, "but the Johnsons next door might be having some troubles, and I was wondering if maybe we should organise something, though I don't want to interfere where I shouldn't be interfering." Her famous hot dish recipe has been requested at every community gathering for the past 15 years, but Betty Lou insists it's nothing special, and probably not as good as everyone else's contributions, while secretly knowing hers is superior. Betty Lou's version of gossip involves sharing information about community members' situations while expressing genuine concern for their welfare and apologising for knowing things she probably shouldn't know, but learned through legitimate social interactions. "I don't like to talk about people." Betty Lou begins before providing detailed updates about 3 different families' personal situations, but I just think we should all be praying for them during this difficult time, don't you think? Her relationship with technology consists of Facebook for sharing family photos and community event information, while maintaining deep suspicion of any platform that encourages conflict or impersonal communication methods. The woman's ability to provide emotional support while avoiding direct advice creates conversations that feel therapeutic without actually addressing underlying problems. Everyone leaves feeling better without understanding why. "Oh, you poor thing," Betty Lou responds to any mention of stress or difficulty. "That just sounds awful, and I can't imagine how hard that must be for you. Is there anything I can do? I feel terrible that you're going through this." Her garden produces enough vegetables to feed the entire neighbourhood, which Betty Lou distributes freely while apologising for the abundance and insisting that people are doing her a favour by accepting her surplus produce. Betty Lou genuinely believes that kindness, community spirit and proper manners can solve most of the world's problems. She's not entirely wrong, but her approach requires cultural conditioning that promotes guilt as a motivational tool. "I hope you don't think I'm being too forward," Betty Lou mentions, while organising a welcome party nobody requested, "but I just thought it might be nice for you to meet everyone, though I completely understand if you'd rather not, and I'm sorry for even suggesting it." The local church knows Betty Lou as the person who volunteers for everything, while claiming she's not really qualified, and probably not the best choice for any leadership position she's actually perfect for handling. Her driving style involves apologising to other vehicles for existing, maintaining speeds significantly below posted limits to avoid inconveniencing anyone, and feeling guilty about taking up road space during peak traffic periods. Betty Lou represents millions of Midwestern Americans who genuinely believe that excessive politeness, community involvement, and selfless service create the foundation for ideal society. They're probably right, but the emotional labour involved is exhausting for everyone. You spend 3 months learning to navigate conversations that require apologising for things you didn't do while accepting help you don't need from people who feel guilty about offering assistance. They're perfectly happy to provide. Your next assignment takes you to a college town where you'll discover that Midwestern politeness and college party culture create fascinating social contradictions. Type 7. The Frat Bro. Your company assigns you to work with the university's business program, where you discover that higher education and weekend party culture exist in a parallel universe governed by red Solo cups and questionable decision-making processes. You arrive at the campus office on a Monday morning and immediately encounter Brad Chadwick III, 21 years old, and living proof that some people can turn avoiding responsibility into a 4-year degree program with excellent networking opportunities. "You, bro, you must be the corporate guy," Brad announces, wearing American flag shorts in October and a fraternity t-shirt that's seen more parties than most people attend in their entire lives. "Dude, we're totally going to crush this project. I've got some sick ideas brewing." Brad's morning routine involves sleeping until 11, checking his phone for party photos he doesn't remember taking, and consuming energy drinks mixed with protein powder, while determining which of his 12 identical polo shirts is clean enough for public appearance. His dorm room resembles a shrine to American college stereotypes. Sports memorabilia covers every surface, empty beer cans create artistic installations, and his desk holds textbooks that appear untouched since purchase. The American flag serves as both window covering and patriotic statement. So what exactly are we supposed to be doing with this business project? Brad inquires while simultaneously checking his phone, adjusting his backwards baseball cap, and planning his evening social activities, because I've got a tailgate this weekend that's going to be absolutely legendary. The fraternity house operates according to social hierarchies that would fascinate anthropologists and terrify parents. Brad holds the prestigious title of social chair, which involves organising events that test the boundaries of both local noise ordinances and human liver capacity. His academic strategy consists of attending enough classes to maintain eligibility for fraternity membership, while developing interpersonal relationships that will prove more valuable than actual education in his post-graduation career pursuits. "Bro, you should totally come to our mixer on Friday," Brad suggests while reviewing the project requirements with the attention span of a caffeinated squirrel. "It's going to be off the hook. We're doing a patriotic theme with beer pong tournaments and everything." Brad's wardrobe consists entirely of athletic shorts, fraternity apparel, and polo shirts in colours that match his undergraduate institution's official branding. He owns 14 pairs of boat shoes and considers formal wear a cruel form of social oppression. His relationship with technology revolves around social media platforms designed to document party experiences and maintain connections with hundreds of people he's met exactly once during alcohol-enhanced social interactions. "The thing about college is it's all about making connections," Brad explains while demonstrating his ability to multitask by taking selfies during a supposedly serious planning meeting. The actual classes or whatever, but the networking opportunities are totally priceless. The campus dining hall knows Brad's routine, which involves consuming massive quantities of food designed to support his workout regimen and provide foundation for evening alcohol consumption activities that would challenge professional athletes. Brad's approach to group projects involves delegating actual work to more academically motivated team members, while focusing on big-picture vision and team morale coordination that mostly consists of organising celebration parties. "I'm not saying I'm not going to do the work," Brad clarifies while clearly having no intention of doing any actual work. "I'm just saying my strengths are more in the leadership and motivation department, you know? I'm like the team's spiritual coordinator." His fitness routine revolves around fraternity intramural sports, weekend outdoor activities that involve alcohol transportation, and gym sessions that serve double duty as social networking opportunities with similarly motivated individuals. The man's financial strategy consists of parental support, supplemented by part-time employment at establishments that understand the unique scheduling requirements of someone whose primary job involves attending college-sponsored social events. "My dad always says college is the best 4 years of your life," Brad mentions while demonstrating his complete misunderstanding of the project timeline. "So why would you waste it on studying when you could be building lifelong friendships and creating awesome memories?" His political views consist of supporting policies that protect college social traditions, maintain affordable alcohol prices, and preserve the constitutional right to assemble for recreational purposes without excessive government interference. Brad genuinely believes that college social experiences, Fraternity connections and party planning skills provide essential preparation for adult professional success. He's not entirely wrong, but his priorities suggest interesting interpretations of educational value. Dude, you seem way too stressed about this whole deadline thing, Brad observes while contributing absolutely nothing to the project's completion. College is supposed to be fun, bro. Life gets serious enough after graduation. The project somehow gets completed, mainly because the university's business program has built-in safeguards to prevent students like Brad from completely derailing academic requirements while still allowing them to maintain their social obligations. You leave campus with a collection of fraternity t-shirts, invitations to alumni events you'll never attend, and genuine appreciation for Brad's ability to maintain optimism despite complete disconnection from reality. Your next assignment takes you to work with the retirement community's business operations, where you'll discover that generational differences in technology adoption create fascinating cultural friction. Type 8. The Boomer Facebook Warrior. Your company assigns you to modernize a small business's social media presence, where you discover that Facebook has become a battleground for generational warfare, fought with minions, memes, and poorly understood privacy settings. You arrive at the office to find your new supervisor, Deborah Williamson, 67 years old and engaged in heated digital combat with people she's never met about topics she's researched exclusively through shared articles and comment sections. "Oh good, you're here," Deborah announces while squinting at her computer screen through reading glasses that cost more than most people's phones. "I need you to help me figure out why these young people keep saying such disrespectful things on my posts about respecting your elders." Deborah's morning routine involves checking Facebook before coffee, sharing inspirational quotes featuring cartoon characters, and engaging in political debates with distant relatives she hasn't spoken to since 1987, but somehow feels qualified to educate about current events. Her desk is covered with printed emails, photographs of grandchildren, and sticky notes containing passwords written in handwriting that resembles ancient hieroglyphics. The computer runs software from the early 2000s because it still works perfectly fine. "I don't understand why these websites keep changing everything," Deborah complains while attempting to navigate Facebook's interface. "It was working fine yesterday, and now they've moved all the buttons around just to confuse senior citizens on purpose." The Facebook profile consists of family photos spanning 40 years, shared articles about celebrities she's never heard of, and political content that would make campaign managers weep with frustration. Every post includes at least 12 emoji and 3 exclamation points. Deborah's approach to social media involves treating every platform like a personal newsletter combined with a community bulletin board where she can share opinions about everything from weather patterns to international politics with equal authority. "I shared this wonderful article about kids these days, not knowing how to work hard," Deborah explains while showing you a post that received 47 angry reactions. But instead of agreeing, everyone started arguing about minimum wage and student loans. "I don't understand why they can't just be grateful for wisdom." The local senior centre knows Deborah as the person who prints out Facebook posts to discuss during social gatherings, creating hybrid digital-analog conversations that confuse everyone under 65 and frustrate anyone trying to fact-check information. Her phone contains approximately 300 photos of the same sunset taken from slightly different angles, 17 different weather apps, and text messages written with full punctuation and formal salutations, as if they were business correspondence. "These young people today have no respect," Deborah observes while reading comments on her post about respecting authority. "In my day, we didn't argue with our elders on the telephone, and we certainly didn't use abbreviated words like 'oh' instead of 'you.'" Deborah's news consumption consists entirely of articles shared by friends, headlines that confirm her existing beliefs, and comment sections where she provides historical context that may or may not be historically accurate, but is delivered with absolute conviction. Her online shopping experiences involve calling customer service to verify that websites are legitimate, reading every review in chronological order, and maintaining detailed spreadsheets of purchase history for tax purposes and personal satisfaction. I don't trust these websites with my credit card information, Deborah explains while attempting to make an online purchase. That's why I call them directly and give my information to a real person over the phone. It's much safer that way. The woman's relationship with technology involves treating every digital interaction as potentially fraudulent, while simultaneously sharing personal information freely on social media platforms she doesn't fully understand but uses enthusiastically. Deborah's political engagement consists of sharing memes that support her preferred candidates, engaging in comment wars with strangers about issues she's passionate about, and forwarding chain messages about voter fraud to everyone in her contact list. I do my own research. Deborah insists while showing you articles from websites with questionable credibility but compelling headlines. I don't just believe what the mainstream media tells me. I read multiple sources and make up my own mind about things. Her digital legacy consists of thousands of comments on news articles, family photos tagged with detailed captions, and enough shared content to create a comprehensive archive of early 21st century internet culture, filtered through suburban grandmother perspective. The beautiful irony of Deborah's online presence is her complete conviction that social media provides authentic connection while simultaneously complaining about how technology has ruined human communication and personal relationships. I miss the days when people talked face to face instead of hiding behind computer screens. Deborah mentions while spending 4 hours daily engaging in online conversations with people she's never met about topics that make her genuinely angry. Her grandchildren visit occasionally to provide technical support, update her privacy settings, and patiently explain why certain shared articles might not be entirely accurate, creating intergenerational bonding experiences centered around digital literacy education. Deborah genuinely believes that social media provides essential platforms for sharing wisdom, staying connected with family, and participating in democratic discourse. She's not entirely wrong, but her execution creates fascinating cultural friction. You spend 6 weeks helping Deborah modernize her business's online presence while learning to navigate the complex social dynamics of intergenerational digital communication and the surprising complexity of Facebook's privacy settings. Your next project involves retail customer service, where you'll discover that digital literacy gaps pale in comparison to the fascinating phenomenon of escalated consumer complaints. Type 9. The Karen. Your consulting firm assigns you to analyze customer service operations at a suburban retail chain, where you quickly discover that complaint escalation has become a performance art form requiring advanced degrees in righteous indignation and strategic hairstyle management. You're observing the customer service desk when she arrives like a hurricane with highlights and a sense of entitlement that could power small cities. Meet Karen Thompson, 43 years old, and living proof that customer service interactions can become epic battles between retail workers earning minimum wage and middle-aged women armed with expired coupons and unshakable conviction in their own importance. "Excuse me, I need to speak to your manager immediately," Karen announces before anyone has even acknowledged her presence. "I have been shopping here for 7 years, and I have never been so insulted by the treatment I'm receiving today." Karen's morning routine involves checking online reviews she's written, updating her social media with complaints about various service providers, and preparing for daily consumer interactions with the strategic intensity of military campaign planning. Her purse contains every receipt from the past 6 months, printed screenshots of sale prices from competitor websites, and documentation that would impress forensic accountants investigating corporate fraud. Old Karen doesn't shop. She conducts retail surveillance operations. "This coupon clearly states it's valid until tomorrow, but your system is telling me it expired yesterday," Karen explains while producing a piece of paper that's been photocopied so many times it resembles ancient parchment. "I demand you honour this coupon or I'm reporting this store to corporate headquarters." The local retail establishments know Karen by sight and have developed complex protocols for managing her visits. Staff members draw straws to determine who handles Karen duty, and managers clear their schedules when they see her approaching the customer service counter. Her hairstyle requires architectural engineering principles to maintain its gravity-defying structure. The Karen cut has become so iconic that hairstylists discuss it in hushed tones, and maintenance requires professional intervention every 3 weeks regardless of budget constraints. "I don't think you understand who you're dealing with," Karen informs the 19-year-old cashier who's earning $8 per hour to tolerate abuse from suburban shoppers. "I write reviews on Google, Yelp, and Facebook. I have followers who trust my recommendations." Karen's vehicle is a mid-sized SUV equipped with Honor Student bumper stickers, soccer ball decals, and magnetic ribbons, supporting various causes she's passionate about for approximately 6 weeks at a time. Her license plate frame reads "World's Best Mom" in glittering letters. Her social media presence consists entirely of complaints about customer service experiences, passive-aggressive posts about neighbours' property maintenance, and shared articles about declining standards in modern society. Karen's timeline is a masterclass in finding fault with everything. "I'm not trying to be difficult," Karen insists while being maximally difficult. "I just expect basic respect and competent service when I'm spending my hard-earned money." Is that really too much to ask in today's society? The woman's approach to conflict resolution involves immediate escalation to supervisory personnel, threats of negative reviews, and detailed recitations of her customer loyalty history, as if retail workers receive commission based on customer tenure. Karen's neighbourhood association knows her as the person who reports property violations, organises petitions about traffic patterns, and maintains detailed documentation of every neighbour's failure to meet her standards of community presentation. "I've been shopping here since before that girl was even born," Karen explains to the manager while gesturing dismissively at the staff member who's trying to help her. "I deserve better treatment than this, and I'm going to make sure everyone knows about the terrible service I'm receiving." Her children attend the same schools where Karen serves on multiple committees, volunteers for fundraising events, and maintains detailed knowledge of every teacher's performance, curriculum changes, and administrative decisions that affect her family's educational experience. The local restaurant managers recognize Karen's car in the parking lot and mentally prepare for dinner service that will involve detailed explanations of menu modifications, complaints about preparation time, and inevitable requests for compensation due to imaginary service failures. "I'm not asking for anything unreasonable," Karen clarifies while making entirely unreasonable demands. "I just want to be treated with the respect I deserve as a paying customer who contributes to this establishment's success." Her political engagement involves attending city council meetings to complain about municipal services, organising neighbourhood campaigns against proposed developments, and maintaining correspondence with elected officials about issues that personally affect her daily routine. Karen genuinely believes that persistent complaints, documentation of service failures, and strategic use of social media reviews create accountability that benefits all consumers. She's not entirely wrong, but her methods terrorise service workers while achieving questionable results. If more people stood up for themselves like I do, businesses would provide better service. Karen explains while creating a customer service incident that will be discussed in employee break rooms for months. "I'm doing this for everyone who's too polite to demand proper treatment." The beautiful irony of Karen's existence is her complete conviction that she's fighting for justice while creating workplace trauma for people who have no authority to address her complaints, but bear responsibility for her dissatisfaction. You document Karen's interactions for 3 weeks and develop genuine sympathy for retail workers who face similar encounters daily while maintaining professional composure despite psychological warfare disguised as customer feedback. Your next assignment involves agricultural consulting in a rural area, where you'll discover that suburban consumer complaint culture operates according to completely different principles than rural self-reliance philosophy. Type 10, the libertarian cowboy. Your agricultural consulting project takes you to rural Montana, where you discover that some Americans have turned government suspicion into a lifestyle philosophy that makes Chuck's gun collection look like a casual hobby. You arrive at the remote ranch and meet Jake Wildfire McCready, 54 years old, and living proof that you can reject modern civilization while still using enough technology to maintain a surprisingly successful YouTube channel about off-grid living. You the city boy they sent to tell me about sustainable farming? Jake inquires while adjusting his cowboy hat and eyeing your rental car with the suspicion usually reserved for tax auditors. Well, I've been farming this land sustainably since before sustainability was a government buzzword designed to control agricultural independence. Jake's morning routine starts at 4:30 with livestock care that doesn't require electricity, government permits, or compliance with regulations he considers unconstitutional. His coffee is brewed over a wood fire because depending on the power grid is for people who trust institutions. His ranch operates completely off-grid, powered by solar panels, wind generators, and a deep well that produces water cleaner than anything you can buy in stores. Jake considers self-sufficiency both a practical necessity and a political statement about individual liberty. See, the problem with most people today is they've forgotten how to take care of themselves, Jake explains while demonstrating farming techniques that work without corporate agricultural support systems. They depend on the government for everything, and then they wonder why they don't have any freedom left. Jake's property is surrounded by handmade signs warning visitors about property rights, constitutional violations, and the dangers of federal overreach. The driveway alone features enough libertarian philosophy to stock a political science classroom. His daily uniform consists of authentic cowboy gear that's functional rather than fashionable. Every item serves multiple purposes, lasts for decades, and can be repaired without requiring trips to shopping centres or corporate retail establishments. I don't pay taxes I don't owe. I don't follow laws that violate the Constitution, and I sure as hell don't ask permission to live my life the way my grandfather lived. His Jake declares while showing you livestock that graze without government subsidies or regulatory oversight. The ranch house operates according to principles that would impress survivalist magazines and terrify building inspectors. Everything is built to last, repaired rather than replaced, and designed to function without external dependencies or bureaucratic approval. Jake's library contains every book ever written about constitutional law, alternative energy systems, sustainable agriculture, and the philosophical foundations of individual liberty. He's completely self-educated and more knowledgeable than most university professors about his areas of expertise. You want to know about sustainable farming? I'll tell you about sustainable farming. Jake offers while walking through fields that produce enough food to feed his family, plus surplus for local farmers' markets. It's called not depending on corporate seed companies, government subsidies, or chemical fertilizers made by the same people who want to control your food supply. His workshop contains tools that belong to his grandfather, equipment he's built himself, and enough spare parts to maintain operations regardless of supply chain disruptions or economic collapse scenarios that keep urban planners awake at night. Jake's political philosophy is beautifully simple. Government exists to protect individual rights, not to manage individual choices. Everything beyond constitutional basics is overreach that threatens the liberty that made America worth living in. I've got solar power, wind power, water power, muscle power, Jake explains while demonstrating energy systems that function without utility companies. I don't need anyone's permission to live my life, and I sure don't need anyone's help to survive whatever's coming next. The local community respects Jake's knowledge while slightly fearing his intensity about government surveillance, corporate manipulation, and the gradual erosion of constitutional protections through regulatory creep and bureaucratic expansion. His relationship with technology involves using modern tools to achieve traditional goals while maintaining complete independence from systems that require government oversight or corporate dependency. Jake's internet connection runs through satellite systems he installed and maintains himself. The Constitution says the government that governs least governs best. Jake quotes while repairing equipment that most people would replace. Every law they pass makes us a little less free. Every regulation they create makes us a little more dependent. And every program they offer comes with strings attached to our liberty. Jake's business model involves selling organic produce, free-range livestock, and handcrafted goods directly to consumers who appreciate quality products created without corporate interference or regulatory compliance costs. His emergency preparedness would impress disaster relief coordinators and concerned psychological health professionals. Jake maintains supplies for scenarios ranging from natural disasters to economic collapse to government tyranny, because history suggests all three are inevitable. I'm not anti-government, I'm pro-constitution, Jake clarifies while showing you water filtration systems that work without electricity. The government has legitimate functions, but growing my own food, generating my own power, and protecting my own property aren't areas where they need to be involved. The man's knowledge of local ecology, sustainable practices, and traditional farming techniques rivals university agricultural programs while costing significantly less and producing better results than corporate farming operations. Jake genuinely believes that individual self-reliance, constitutional government, and free market economics create the foundation for human prosperity and personal liberty. He's probably right, but his lifestyle requires skills and dedication that most people lack. The American dream isn't about getting rich or famous, Jake explains during a sunset break from ranch work. It's about being free to live your life according to your own values without interference from people who think they know better than you do. You spend a month learning traditional farming techniques while absorbing political philosophy that makes suburban libertarians look like moderate compromisers. Jake's operation is impressive, sustainable, and completely independent of systems most people consider essential. Your next assignment takes you back to urban environments, where you'll discover that Jake's rugged individualism contrasts sharply with technology industry culture and Silicon Valley's version of innovation. Type 11, the Tech Bro. Your company sends you to Silicon Valley for a technology integration project, where you discover that innovation culture has created a parallel universe where 26-year-old millionaires discuss disrupting industries they don't understand while drinking beverages that cost more than most people's hourly wages. You arrive at the startup office at 9 a.m. and immediately encounter Tyler Blockchain Stevens, 28 years old and living proof that venture capital funding can transform coffee shop philosophical discussions into billion-dollar business propositions with minimal connection to practical reality. Dude, welcome to the future, Tyler announces, while wearing a hoodie that costs more than most people's monthly salary and sneakers that require waiting lists to purchase. We're totally going to revolutionize how you think about digital transformation and synergistic optimization paradigms. Tyler's morning routine starts at 5 a.m. with meditation, cold showers, and supplements that promise to optimize cognitive performance while maintaining the energy levels required for 18-hour workdays that mostly involve meetings about having meetings. His desk setup includes 3 monitors, 2 laptops, a standing desk converter, and enough gadgets to stock a consumer electronics store. Tyler operates all of them simultaneously, while consuming beverages that contain ingredients banned in several countries. So basically, we're building a platform that uses machine learning algorithms to disrupt traditional business models through blockchain-enabled solutions that create synergistic value propositions for enterprise-level stakeholders, Tyler explains, using enough buzzwords to power a marketing conference. The office operates according to principles that would fascinate anthropologists studying modern tribal behavior: free gourmet meals, recreational activities, and workplace amenities designed to eliminate any reason for employees to maintain lives outside the company campus. Tyler's wardrobe consists entirely of expensive casual wear designed to look effortless while costing more than most people's formal clothing. Every item is carefully selected to communicate both success and creative authenticity to people who understand the subtle status signals. The thing about innovation is you have to think outside traditional paradigms, Tyler continues while demonstrating software that solves problems nobody knew they had. We're not just building products. We're creating experiences that transform how people interact with digital ecosystems. His apartment is located in a building where rent costs more than most people's annual salaries, but Tyler considers it an investment in proximity to other innovators who might provide networking, opportunities or collaborative synergies for future entrepreneurial ventures. The local coffee shops know Tyler's order, which involves oat milk adaptogenic mushrooms and enough specialty modifications to require barista certification in advanced beverage engineering. His caffeine consumption would concern medical professionals if he had time for healthcare. I'm currently working on 3 different projects, Tyler mentions while multitasking at levels that defy human cognitive capacity. There's the main platform we're developing, a side project that could totally pivot into something bigger, and a blockchain experiment that might revolutionize everything. Tyler's social life consists entirely of networking events, industry conferences and casual gatherings, where entrepreneurs discuss disrupting industries while consuming artisanal cocktails that incorporate technologies originally developed for molecular gastronomy. His relationship with traditional business models involves finding inefficiencies that can be solved through technological solutions, regardless of whether those inefficiencies actually create problems for real people or just represent opportunities for venture capital investment. The beautiful thing about working in tech is you're literally building the future, Tyler explains while coding solutions for problems that exist primarily in theoretical business school case studies. Every line of code is potentially changing how humanity interacts with information and each other. The company's business model involves attracting users through free services while collecting data that can be monetized through advertising partnerships, subscription upgrades, or eventual acquisition by larger technology companies seeking innovation talent. Tyler's political views focus on policies that support technological advancement, minimal regulatory interference, and immigration systems that attract global talent to American innovation centers. He considers technology the solution to most social problems. Regulation just slows down innovation, Tyler mentions while discussing government oversight of technology companies. The market will naturally optimize for user benefit, and excessive bureaucracy prevents breakthrough solutions that could solve major global challenges. His exercise routine involves biohacking techniques, wearable technology that monitors every bodily function, and optimization strategies designed to maximize physical performance while minimizing time investment required for health maintenance. The venture capital community knows Tyler as someone with potential for significant returns on investment, which means his ideas receive funding based on projected market disruption rather than proven business fundamentals or sustainable revenue models. Tyler genuinely believes that technological innovation, entrepreneurial energy, and data-driven optimization can solve most of the world's problems while creating unprecedented prosperity for humanity. He's not entirely wrong, but his solutions require lifestyle changes that most people can't afford. The next 5 years are going to completely transform everything, Tyler predicts while working on projects that may or may not exist beyond the current funding cycle. We're on the verge of breakthrough innovations that will make today's technology look like stone tools. You spend 6 weeks learning to navigate startup culture while developing appreciation for Tyler's genuine enthusiasm and concerning awareness of the gap between technological promises and practical implementation challenges. Your next assignment involves social media consulting, where you'll discover that Silicon Valley innovation culture has created fascinating new forms of attention-seeking behavior and personal branding strategies. Type 12, the influencer. Your social media consulting project connects you with content creators, where you discover that personal branding has evolved into a full-time career, requiring skills that didn't exist 10 years ago, and psychological resilience that most people lack entirely. You arrive at the content creation studio and meet Madison Maddie Sparkle, 24 years old, and living proof that you can monetize personality traits while maintaining an online presence that requires more planning than most corporate marketing campaigns. OMG, hi. Welcome to my content space. Madison announces while adjusting ring lights that cost more than most people's monthly rent. I'm literally so excited to work with you on optimizing my engagement metrics and growing my personal brand across multiple platforms. Madison's morning routine involves checking analytics from overnight posts, responding to comments with carefully crafted responses that maintain authenticity, while encouraging continued engagement, and planning content that balances sponsored partnerships with organic relationship building. Her apartment is designed primarily as a filming location, with every corner optimized for content creation. Natural lighting, aesthetic backgrounds, and enough equipment to operate a small television production company occupy spaces where most people would put furniture. So basically, my whole thing is lifestyle content that inspires people to live their best lives, Madison explains while setting up cameras for a morning routine video. I share everything from skincare to mindset tips to outfit inspiration, and my audience totally loves the authentic behind-the-scenes content. The bathroom contains more beauty products than most department stores, organized by brand partnerships, personal preferences, and aesthetic appeal for flat-lay photography sessions that require artistic composition skills and professional lighting equipment. Madison's wardrobe consists entirely of pieces selected for their photogenic qualities, brand partnership requirements, and ability to create multiple outfit combinations for content that spans weeks of posting while appearing spontaneous and effortless. Content creation is literally a full-time job that people don't understand. Madison clarifies while editing videos that will appear to be casual lifestyle documentation. I'm constantly filming, editing, responding to comments, planning collaborations, and staying current with platform algorithm changes. Her phone contains approximately 47 different apps for photo editing, video production, analytics tracking, and platform management. Madison's technical skills rival professional photographers and marketing specialists, despite having no formal training in either field. The local coffee shops know Madison as the person who photographs every beverage, tags their location in posts, and occasionally films content that features their establishments in exchange for free products and social media exposure. The key to successful influencing is authenticity, Madison explains, while carefully staging a spontaneous morning moment that requires 3 camera angles and professional lighting. My audience can totally tell when content is genuine versus when someone's just trying to sell them something. Her business model involves sponsored partnerships with brands that align with her personal aesthetic, affiliate marketing programs that generate commission from follower purchases, and original product lines that leverage her personal brand for direct sales. Madison's social life operates according to content creation opportunities and networking potential with other influencers, brand representatives, and industry professionals who might provide collaboration opportunities or career advancement possibilities. Influencer marketing is the future of advertising. Madison mentions while demonstrating makeup techniques for her morning routine video. Traditional ads don't work anymore because people want recommendations from real people they trust, not corporate messaging that feels impersonal. Her relationship with privacy involves sharing personal details that create parasocial connections with followers while maintaining boundaries that protect her actual private life from public scrutiny and potential safety concerns. The content creation requires psychological resilience to handle public criticism, algorithm changes that affect income stability, and constant pressure to produce engaging material while maintaining mental health and personal relationships. People think this job is just taking pretty pictures, but it's actually running a small business. Madison explains while managing brand partnerships that require contract negotiations, content delivery schedules, and performance metrics tracking. I handle my own marketing, accounting, legal issues, and creative direction. Her success metrics involve engagement rates, follower growth, conversion statistics, and brand partnership revenues that fluctuate based on platform algorithm changes, seasonal trends, and economic factors beyond her individual control. Madison genuinely believes that social media content creation provides valuable services by connecting audiences with products, experiences, and lifestyle inspiration, while building communities around shared interests and values. She's not entirely wrong, but the personal cost involves sacrificing privacy for professional success. The best part about this career is the flexibility and creativity Madison mentions while planning content calendars that extend months into the future. I get to work with amazing brands, travel to incredible places, and inspire people to pursue their dreams while building my own business. The platform algorithms determine Madison's income more than traditional market forces, creating career uncertainty that requires constant adaptation, trend awareness, and backup planning for scenarios where social media preferences change unexpectedly. You spend a month learning content creation strategies while developing appreciation for Madison's business acumen and concerning awareness of how social media success depends on factors beyond individual talent or effort. Your next consulting project involves gaming industry analysis, where you'll discover that content creation skills translate into entirely different forms of online entertainment and community building. Type 13, the hardcore gamer. Your gaming industry consulting project requires analysing online community behaviour, where you discover that competitive gaming has evolved into a subculture with its own economy, social hierarchies, and lifestyle requirements that make Madison's content creation schedule look relaxed. You arrive at the gaming house and meet Derek Nightslayer, 420, Morrison, 26 years old, and living proof that you can turn childhood hobbies into professional careers while maintaining vitamin D deficiency and social skills that function exclusively through digital interfaces. Yo, welcome to the compound. Derek announces from behind a setup that resembles mission control for space exploration. Just finishing up a ranked session. Give me like 10 minutes to clutch this match and then we can talk about whatever corporate stuff you need. Derek's bedroom serves as both living space and professional gaming arena. 3 monitors display different games simultaneously, while a 4th tracks chat messages, streaming statistics, and social media mentions that require constant monitoring during competitive sessions. His daily routine starts at noon with energy drinks that contain enough caffeine to power small appliances, followed by 16 hours of gaming, interrupted only by bathroom breaks and food delivery that can be consumed without pausing gameplay. The thing about professional gaming is it's not just playing games, Derek explains while demonstrating reaction times that would impress fighter pilots. There's strategy analysis, mechanical skill development, team coordination and mental preparation that goes into competing at the highest levels. The gaming chair costs more than most people's cars and includes features designed to support human bodies during marathon gaming sessions that would concern ergonomic specialists and medical professionals trained in repetitive stress injury prevention. Derek's diet consists entirely of foods that can be consumed with one hand while maintaining optimal gaming performance. Energy drinks, protein bars, and delivery services provide nutrition that prioritizes convenience over health considerations. I'm currently ranked in the top 1% of players globally in 3 different games, Derek mentions while simultaneously playing, streaming, and managing chat interactions with thousands of viewers. Most people don't understand the skill level required to maintain that kind of performance consistency. His streaming setup includes professional lighting, multiple cameras, audio equipment, and enough technology to broadcast television programs. Derek's production values rival professional media companies despite operating from a converted bedroom. The local delivery drivers know Derek's address and timing preferences, which involve food orders that arrive during brief breaks between competitive matches or during loading screens that provide windows for consumption without affecting gameplay performance. Streaming is basically performance art combined with athletic competition, as Derek explains while entertaining viewers through gameplay commentary that demonstrates multitasking abilities beyond normal human capacity. You're playing at the highest level while being entertaining and educational for audience members. His social life consists entirely of online interactions with other gamers, viewers, and industry professionals who share his passion for competitive gaming and understand the lifestyle requirements for maintaining professional level performance. Derek's business model involves streaming revenue, tournament winnings, sponsorship deals with gaming companies, and merchandise sales that leverage his personal brand within the gaming community for direct monetization opportunities. The gaming industry is bigger than movies and music combined, Derek mentions while reviewing analytics that track his performance across multiple revenue streams. Professional gamers are basically digital athletes who compete for prize pools that reach millions of dollars. His relationship with traditional employment involves complete rejection of career paths that require physical presence, regular schedules, or activities that interfere with practice time necessary for maintaining competitive gaming performance. The gaming community recognizes Derek as someone with legitimate skills and professional achievements, which provides social validation that functions differently than traditional career recognition, but offers similar psychological benefits. People think gaming is just a hobby for kids, but it requires dedication, skill development, and mental preparation that rivals any professional sport, Derek explains, while demonstrating techniques that require years of practice to master. His exercise routine involves hand stretches, eye movement exercises, and brief physical activities designed to prevent repetitive stress injuries while maintaining the sedentary lifestyle required for optimal gaming performance. Derek's knowledge of game mechanics, strategy development, and competitive analysis rivals academic researchers studying human-computer interaction, psychology, and sports performance optimization techniques. The streaming audience provides community connections and social interactions that replace traditional workplace relationships while offering feedback, support, and engagement that motivates continued content creation and performance improvement. The beautiful thing about gaming is its pure meritocracy, Derek observes while reviewing match replays to identify performance improvement opportunities. Your skills determine your success, not politics, connections, or factors beyond your individual control. His equipment requires constant upgrades to maintain competitive advantages, which means significant financial investment in technology that becomes obsolete quickly, but remains essential for professional-level performance. Derek genuinely believes that competitive gaming provides legitimate career opportunities, entertainment value, and community building that serves important social functions in digital society. He's not entirely wrong, but his lifestyle requires sacrifices that most people can't maintain. You spend 3 weeks learning gaming industry economics while developing respect for Derek's dedication and concerning awareness of how professional gaming success requires lifestyle choices that eliminate most traditional life experiences. Your next project involves working with veterans services, where you'll discover that gaming community dedication pales in comparison to military service commitment and patriotic expression. Type 14, the overly patriotic vet grandpa. Your Veterans Services Consulting Project connects you with community outreach programs, where you discover that military service creates lifelong bonds with American symbolism that make Chuck's gun collection look like casual patriotism. You arrive at the VFW Hall and meet Sergeant First Class, retired Robert Bob Eagle, 71 years old and living proof that military service can transform personal identity into permanent dedication to national symbols and traditional values. Son, welcome to the finest VFW post in the state, Bob announces while standing at attention, despite being in civilian clothes. We were just discussing the proper way to fold the flag for tonight's ceremony. There's a right way and a wrong way, and we only do things the right way here. Bob's morning routine starts at 0500 hours with calisthenics, flag-raising ceremonies performed with military precision, and coffee consumed while reviewing news coverage that makes him simultaneously proud of America and concerned about declining respect for traditional values. His house features 5 American flags displayed according to strict protocols that most people don't know exist. Indoor flags, outdoor flags, vehicle flags, and memorial flags create a patriotic display that would impress military honor guards. I served 3 tours in Vietnam and 2 in Desert Storm, Bob explains while showing you medals displayed with museum-quality presentation. Earned these protecting the freedoms that too many people take for granted today. Every flag I see brings back memories of friends who didn't make it home. The local hardware store knows Bob as the customer who corrects their flag display protocols, purchases flag-related accessories with seasonal regularity, and provides unsolicited education about proper flag etiquette to anyone within earshot. His daily uniform consists of military-style clothing, veteran organization apparel, and accessories that communicate his service history to fellow veterans who recognize the subtle signals and respect the shared experiences. Young people today don't understand what this flag represents. Bob observes while demonstrating proper flag folding techniques that require practice and precision. It's not just a piece of cloth, it's a symbol of every sacrifice made to protect the freedoms they enjoy without thinking about the cost. Bob's vehicle is covered with veteran-related decals, service branch identifications, and bumper stickers that communicate his military background to other drivers who might share similar experiences or need assistance from someone who understands veteran culture. His social life revolves around veteran organizations, military reunions, and community events that honor service members and educate civilians about military history and the ongoing sacrifices made by military families. Memorial Day and Veterans Day aren't just holidays for barbecues and shopping sales. Bob explains while organizing ceremony programs that include proper flag presentations and moments of silence. They're sacred observances for remembering people who gave everything for this country. The man's knowledge of military history, flag protocols, and patriotic traditions exceeds most college professors specializing in American studies, and he shares this knowledge with anyone willing to listen for more than 30 seconds. Bob's relationship with modern politics involves supporting policies that strengthen military funding, honor veteran commitments, and maintain America's global leadership position, while expressing concern about cultural changes that seem to diminish respect for traditional patriotic values. I didn't serve 32 years so people could disrespect the flag or ignore the national anthem, Bob mentions while discussing social issues that involve patriotic symbols. Freedom isn't free, and respect for those symbols is the least people can do to honor the sacrifice. His basement contains military memorabilia collected during decades of service, including photographs, equipment, documents, and gifts from fellow service members who remain lifelong friends despite geographic separation. The local schools know Bob as the volunteer who provides flag education, military history presentations, and character-building discussions that teach young people about service, sacrifice, and civic responsibility. Every time I see that flag, I think about the friends I lost and the brothers I served with, Bob explains during a quiet moment between ceremonies. It's not just patriotism, it's personal. That flag represents people I loved who aren't here anymore. His daily schedule includes checking on elderly veterans who need assistance, maintaining memorial displays at community locations, and participating in honor guard ceremonies for fallen service members and veteran funerals. Bob's approach to community service involves volunteering for organizations that support veterans, military families, and patriotic education programs that preserve military traditions for future generations who might not otherwise understand their significance. The flag code exists for good reasons, Bob clarifies while correcting improper flag displays he encounters during community events. These protocols show respect for what the flag represents. It's not about being picky, it's about honoring the people who died defending what it stands for. His library contains military history books, biographies of war heroes, and documentation of battles that shaped American history. Bob's knowledge of military strategy and historical context rivals professional military historians. The veteran community recognizes Bob as someone who maintains military traditions, supports fellow veterans through difficult transitions, and preserves institutional knowledge that connects current service members with previous generations. Bob genuinely believes that military service, patriotic expression, and respect for national symbols create the foundation for American strength and prosperity. He's probably right, but his intensity about flag protocols concerns people who don't understand the emotional connections between symbols and sacrifice. You spend a month learning about veteran culture while developing deep respect for Bob's service, and concerning awareness of how military experience creates perspectives that civilian life rarely acknowledges or supports. Your next assignment involves entrepreneurship consulting with small business owners, where you'll discover that veteran dedication translates into entirely different forms of American ambition and independence. Type 15, the Instagram Momtrepreneur. Your small business consulting project connects you with entrepreneurs who've transformed social media into business platforms, where you discover that modern motherhood has evolved into personal branding opportunities that combine parenting advice with product sales strategies. You arrive at the home office and meet Crystal Shine Wellness, 36 years old and living proof that you can monetize maternal instincts while building business empires that operate through Instagram stories and Facebook groups. Welcome to my zone of wellness and abundance, Crystal announces while adjusting ring lights for a morning content creation session. I'm just finishing up my gratitude practice before filming today's empowerment message from my beautiful community of warrior mamas. Crystal's morning routine involves meditation, journaling, and affirmations before creating content that documents her perfect life for audiences of mothers seeking inspiration for achieving similar lifestyle goals through her coaching programs and product recommendations. Her home office doubles as a filming studio, equipped with professional lighting, backdrop options, and enough props to create content that appears spontaneous while requiring extensive preparation and editing before publication. My mission is empowering moms to create abundant lives through mindset shifts and strategic action. Crystal explains while setting up cameras for a daily inspiration video. I help women discover their inner CEO while maintaining their feminine energy and family priorities. The kitchen serves as both family meal preparation space and content creation location, where Crystal films cooking videos that promote organic ingredients, kitchen tools, and lifestyle products available through her affiliate marketing partnerships. Crystal's wardrobe consists entirely of athleisure wear that photographs well, communicates health and wellness, commitments, and features brands that align with her personal branding strategy for attracting specific demographic audiences. Most moms don't realize they already have everything they need to build successful businesses, Crystal mentions while editing content that will appear effortlessly authentic, despite requiring professional-level production skills. They just need the right mindset and proven systems to unlock their potential. Her business model combines online coaching programs, affiliate marketing commissions, digital product sales, and brand partnerships that leverage her social media following for multiple revenue streams that operate through authentic relationship building. The local coffee shop knows Crystal as the customer who photographs every beverage, films content at peak aesthetic lighting times, and occasionally hosts informal business meetings that function as networking opportunities for other entrepreneurial mothers. The key to successful mom entrepreneurship is authenticity, Crystal explains, while carefully staging spontaneous family moments that communicate lifestyle aspirations to her target audience. Women can sense when content is genuine versus when someone's just trying to sell them something. Her daily schedule balances content creation, client coaching calls, product development, and actual parenting responsibilities that require time management skills that would impress corporate executives managing multiple departments. Crystal's social media presence includes inspirational quotes, family photos, product recommendations, and behind-the-scenes content that creates parasocial relationships with followers who trust her advice and purchase products through her affiliate links. I believe every woman deserves to live her dream life. Crystal clarifies during a live streaming session that combines parenting advice with product demonstrations. My programs teach the exact strategies I use to build multiple six-figure income streams while being present for my family. Her relationship with traditional employment involves complete rejection of corporate careers that require physical presence, regular schedules, or activities that interfere with family priorities and flexible lifestyle goals. The mompreneur community recognizes Crystal as someone with legitimate business success and marketing expertise, which provides credibility for her coaching programs and product recommendations within networks of ambitious mothers. Building a business around your lifestyle instead of fitting your life around someone else's business model is life-changing. Crystal explains while demonstrating products that solve common parenting challenges. Financial freedom and family priorities don't have to be competing goals. Her children appear in content that balances family privacy with business authenticity, creating marketing material that promotes products while maintaining boundaries that protect actual family life from complete public exposure. Crystal's knowledge of digital marketing, audience development, and online business operations rivals professional marketing specialists, despite having learned everything through trial and error while managing household responsibilities. The product recommendations include essential oils, fitness programs, kitchen appliances, and lifestyle accessories that generate commission income while providing genuine value to customers who trust Crystal's testing and personal experience. Success in online business requires consistency, authenticity, and patience. Crystal observes while reviewing analytics that track engagement rates across multiple social media platforms. Building trust with your audience takes time, but that trust creates sustainable business relationships. Her income fluctuates based on algorithm changes, seasonal trends, and economic factors beyond individual control, which requires financial planning strategies that accommodate uncertainty while maintaining business growth goals. Crystal genuinely believes that entrepreneurship provides women with opportunities for financial independence, creative fulfillment, and flexible lifestyles that support family priorities while building wealth. She's not entirely wrong, but success requires skills and dedication that most people underestimate. You spend a month learning online business strategies while developing appreciation for Crystal's marketing skills and concerning awareness of how social media success depends on maintaining perfect lifestyle presentations, regardless of personal challenges. Your next project involves environmental consulting with activism groups, where you'll discover that mompreneur business strategies contrast sharply with activist approaches to social change and environmental protection. Type 16. The Eco-Warrior Activist Teen. Your environmental consulting project connects you with youth activist organizations, where you discover that climate change has created a generation of teenagers who approach environmental issues with the intensity of military campaigns and the idealism of people who haven't yet experienced bureaucratic reality. You arrive at the climate action meeting and meet Sage River Moonbeam, 17 years old, and living proof that environmental consciousness can become a complete lifestyle philosophy that makes Crystal's wellness empire look like casual hobby involvement. The planet is literally dying, and adults are just pretending everything is fine, Sage announces while organising protest signs made from recycled materials and bound with hemp rope. We have like 12 years to prevent total climate collapse, and somehow I'm the one who has to remind everyone that Earth is the only planet we have. Sage's morning routine involves checking environmental news that increases her anxiety levels, consuming organic plant-based breakfast options that require extensive research to verify sustainability credentials, and planning activism activities that might prevent ecological disaster. Her bedroom resembles environmental activist headquarters, with charts tracking carbon emissions, posters promoting renewable energy, and enough recycled materials to stock an art therapy program focused on sustainability education. The older generation completely destroyed the environment, and now they expect us to just accept that our future is ruined, Sage explains, while creating social media content that educates followers about climate science through infographics and personal testimony. Someone has to fight for the planet's survival. The local Starbucks knows Sage as the customer who brings her own reusable cup, questions the sustainability of every ingredient, and occasionally organises protests against corporate environmental practices while still requiring caffeine to maintain her activism energy levels. Sage's wardrobe consists entirely of thrift store discoveries, handmade accessories, and clothing items selected based on environmental impact rather than aesthetic preferences or social fashion trends that promote wasteful consumption patterns. Fast fashion is basically environmental terrorism, Sage clarifies while demonstrating clothing repair techniques that extend garment lifespans. Every piece of clothing you buy has a carbon footprint, and most people just throw things away instead of fixing them or buying second-hand. Her diet excludes all animal products, processed foods and ingredients produced through environmentally destructive agricultural practices, which requires extensive research and meal planning that makes competitive athletes' nutrition programs look relaxed. The school administration knows Sage as the student who organises environmental clubs, challenges curriculum that ignores climate science, and submits detailed proposals for sustainability improvements that would impress corporate environmental consultants. Adults keep saying young people are the future, but they're destroying our future right now, Sage observes while coordinating peer education programs about renewable energy, conservation strategies and political action for environmental protection. We can't wait for permission to save the planet. Her social life consists entirely of environmental activism, sustainability education, and community organising that connects like-minded teenagers who share her passion for preventing ecological collapse through grassroots political action. Sage's relationship with technology involves using social media platforms to educate audiences about environmental issues while maintaining minimal electronic consumption and supporting companies that demonstrate genuine sustainability commitments rather than greenwashing marketing strategies. Climate change isn't a political opinion, it's scientific reality. Sage explains while organising peer-to-peer education sessions that teach climate science through interactive demonstrations and data visualization techniques. The science is clear, the solutions exist, and the only thing missing is political will to implement them. Her backpack contains reusable water bottles, metal straws, sustainable snacks, and enough environmental literature to stock a small library focused on ecological crisis education and sustainable living practical applications. The local government knows Sage as the teenager who attends city council meetings, submits detailed policy proposals, and organises youth voting drives that focus on environmental candidates and climate-related ballot initiatives. Every generation thinks they're going to change the world, but our generation literally has to change the world, or there won't be a world left to change. Sage mentions while coordinating school climate strikes that combine education with political action. Her knowledge of environmental science, renewable energy technology, and climate policy rivals university professors specialising in environmental studies, despite learning everything through independent research and activist organisation involvement. Sage's family relationships involve constant education about environmental issues, gentle criticism of lifestyle choices that contribute to ecological destruction, and patient explanation of why individual actions matter for global environmental outcomes. My parents think I'm too intense about environmental stuff, but they don't understand that their generation created this crisis. Sage clarifies while planning community gardens that demonstrate sustainable food production techniques. I'm not being dramatic, I'm being realistic about what needs to happen. The environmental activist community recognises Sage as someone with genuine commitment, effective organising skills, and enough passion to maintain momentum through inevitable setbacks and bureaucratic frustrations that discourage less dedicated activists. Her future career plans involve environmental law, renewable energy development, or political activism that addresses climate change through systemic solutions rather than individual lifestyle modifications that ignore structural environmental problems. Adults always tell us to be the change we want to see, but individual actions can't solve problems that require government regulation and corporate accountability. Sage explains while lobbying local businesses to adopt sustainable practices. We need systemic change, not just personal responsibility. The school cafeteria has modified their purchasing policies based on Sage's research about food production, environmental impacts, waste reduction strategies and nutrition programs that support both student health and ecological sustainability goals. Her transportation choices involve walking, biking, public transit and carpooling arrangements that minimize carbon emissions while maintaining social connections and academic obligations that require movement between multiple locations. Sage's political engagement includes voter registration drives, candidate research based on environmental policy positions, and advocacy for political reforms that prioritize long-term ecological sustainability over short-term economic interests. The beautiful thing about environmental activism is it connects everything, Sage observes while organizing community cleanup events that combine environmental action with social justice education. Climate change affects poverty, health, education, and social equality. Solving it helps solve other problems too. Her smartphone contains apps that track carbon footprints, identify sustainable products, connect environmental activists, and provide real-time updates about climate legislation, renewable energy developments, and conservation opportunities. The youth climate movement knows Sage as someone who bridges local activism with global environmental justice issues, connecting suburban environmental concerns with international climate change impacts that disproportionately affect developing nations. Sage genuinely believes that environmental activism, political engagement, and lifestyle modifications can prevent ecological collapse while creating more equitable society. She's probably right, but her solutions require cultural changes that most adults resist implementing. You spend a month learning environmental activism strategies while developing respect for Sage's dedication and troubling awareness of how climate change creates generational conflicts between young people's futures and older people's present comfort. Your next consulting project takes you to Florida for tourism industry analysis, where you'll discover that environmental consciousness contrasts dramatically with a state that seems to operate according to completely different laws of physics and human behavior. Type 17, the Florida Man. Your tourism industry consulting project takes you to Florida, where you discover that the state operates according to physical laws and social norms that exist nowhere else in the known universe, and headlines write themselves with disturbing regularity. You arrive at the Miami airport and immediately encounter Randy Gator Thompson, 42 years old and living proof that Florida's combination of heat, humidity, and complete absence of seasonal depression creates behavioral patterns that fascinate social scientists and terrify everyone else. Welcome to the Sunshine State, bro. Randy announces while wearing flip-flops, board shorts, and a tank top that reads Florida Man making headlines since 1845. Hope you brought sunscreen and a sense of humour, because this place will fry your brain in the best possible way. Randy's morning routine involves checking local news to see if any of his friends made headlines overnight, consuming energy drinks mixed with questionable supplements, and planning daily activities that seem normal to Florida residents, but would require emergency services intervention anywhere else. His apartment balcony overlooks a canal where alligators sunbathe next to residents who treat large reptiles like slightly inconvenient neighbours. Randy considers this normal Tuesday morning entertainment rather than legitimate cause for concern. The thing about living in Florida is you get used to weird stuff pretty quick, Randy explains while showing you photos of the python he caught last week that was eating his neighbour's cat. After a while, nothing seems crazy anymore. It's like the state gradually breaks your brain in a good way. The local convenience store knows Randy as the customer who purchases unusual combinations of items that create concerning transaction receipts. Energy drinks, duct tape, fireworks, and inflatable pool toys suggest activities that probably shouldn't be combined, but somehow work out fine. Randy's vehicle is a pickup truck equipped with fishing gear, camping supplies, and emergency equipment for situations that might require immediate response to Florida-specific crisis scenarios involving wildlife, weather, or spontaneous party organization. I was in the news last month for rescuing a flamingo from a McDonald's drive-thru, Randy mentions casually, while explaining his approach to problem solving. Turned out it wasn't actually stuck, just really confused about the menu options. But you've got to help when you see someone in distress. His social life involves activities that combine outdoor recreation with alcohol consumption in environments where most people would require safety equipment and liability insurance, swamp parties, beach bonfires, and fishing expeditions that attract both fish and law enforcement attention. The local emergency services know Randy by name, not because he causes problems, but because he frequently reports unusual situations that require official response. There's a manatee in the Wendy's parking lot. There's apparently a legitimate emergency call in Florida. People think Florida Man stories are made up, but they're just Tuesday afternoon around here, Randy clarifies, while demonstrating his technique for removing iguanas from swimming pools. We don't try to be weird. Weird just happens when you live somewhere this awesome and unpredictable. Randy's approach to weather involves treating hurricanes like extended block parties, heat waves like sauna experiences, and thunderstorms like free entertainment provided by nature's special effects department. His emergency preparedness focuses more on party supplies than survival necessities. His knowledge of local wildlife rivals trained naturalists, but Randy's expertise focuses on practical interaction rather than scientific observation. He can remove snakes, relocate alligators, and coexist with insects that would terrify entomologists. The secret to surviving Florida is accepting that reality works differently here, Randy explains, while showing you his collection of unusual objects found during routine daily activities. Fight the weird, and you'll go crazy. Embrace the weird, and you'll have the best time of your life. The tourism industry knows Randy as someone who provides authentic Florida experiences that can't be replicated anywhere else. His recommendations include activities that tourists remember forever, but probably shouldn't attempt without local guidance. Randy's business philosophy involves helping visitors understand that Florida isn't trying to kill them. It's just testing their adaptability and sense of humor. The state rewards people who approach life with flexibility and embrace unpredictable experiences. I've lived here my whole life, and I still see stuff that makes me question reality, Randy mentions while describing his encounter with a peacock at the gas station that apparently lives there now. But that's what makes this place magical. You never know what's going to happen next. His relationship with law enforcement is surprisingly positive, considering his involvement in numerous incidents that require official documentation. Randy helps more than he hinders, even when his assistance involves unconventional problem-solving approaches. The local media considers Randy a reliable source for comments about unusual events because his perspective represents authentic Florida resident viewpoints, rather than outsider judgments about state-specific cultural phenomena. Florida gets a bad reputation because people don't understand our lifestyle. Randy clarifies while explaining why swimming with manatees during a thunderstorm seemed reasonable at the time. We're not crazy, we're just more comfortable with adventure than most people. His daily routine includes checking for hurricanes, avoiding iguanas, and maintaining readiness for unexpected situations that might require immediate action. Randy's emergency kit includes standard supplies plus items specific to Florida's unique environmental challenges. Randy genuinely believes that Florida provides the perfect combination of natural beauty, cultural diversity, and recreational opportunities for people who appreciate unconventional lifestyle experiences. He's probably right, but his definition of perfect requires psychological flexibility that most people lack. You spend 3 weeks experiencing Florida culture, while developing appreciation for Randy's adaptability and deep respect for his ability to find normal life entertaining, without requiring artificial stimulation or structured activities. Your next assignment involves political consulting in a rural area, where you'll discover that Florida's embrace of chaos contrasts sharply with communities organized around conspiracy theories and government suspicion. Type 18, the QAnon Uncle. Your political consulting project connects you with grassroots organizations, where you discover that internet culture has transformed family gatherings into research conferences about global conspiracies that make Randy's Florida adventures look perfectly rational. You arrive at the community center and meet Uncle Terry, truth seeker. Washington, 59 years old and living proof that YouTube algorithms and social media echo chambers can convert normal people into amateur investigators, pursuing mysteries that may or may not exist. Finally, someone who might actually listen to what's really going on. Terry announces while spreading out printed documents that resemble the work product of either a dedicated researcher or someone experiencing a psychological crisis. I've been trying to wake people up for 3 years, but everyone just calls me crazy instead of doing their own research. Terry's morning routine involves checking multiple websites for overnight developments in various ongoing investigations, cross-referencing information across platforms, and updating detailed charts that connect global events through patterns invisible to mainstream media coverage. His basement office contains enough documentation to stock a small library focused exclusively on alternative interpretations of current events, printed articles, highlighted passages, and connection boards that would impress criminal investigators or concern mental health professionals. The mainstream media isn't reporting what's actually happening because they're part of the system. Terry explains while demonstrating research techniques that combine legitimate news sources with websites of questionable credibility. You have to dig deeper and connect the dots yourself to understand the real story. The local coffee shop knows Terry as the customer who brings printed articles to share with anyone willing to listen, engages strangers in conversations about political corruption, and occasionally organises informal discussion groups about topics that require extensive background knowledge. Terry's approach to information gathering involves treating every news story as potentially misleading, every official statement as requiring verification, and every coincidence as evidence of larger patterns that reveal hidden connections between seemingly unrelated events. I'm not asking anyone to believe me, I'm asking them to look at the evidence and think for themselves. Terry clarifies while showing you research that demonstrates either impressive investigative skills or concerning disconnection from consensus reality. The truth is out there if you're willing to look for it. His social media presence consists entirely of shared articles, lengthy comments that provide context for posted information, and discussions with other researchers who share his passion for uncovering information that mainstream sources ignore or misrepresent. The family knows Terry as the uncle who transforms holiday gatherings into educational seminars about political corruption, global manipulation, and the importance of independent research for understanding current events that affect everyone's daily lives. I used to trust everything I heard on the news, but then I started noticing inconsistencies and asking questions. Terry mentions while describing his transition from casual news consumption to intensive independent research. Once you start seeing the patterns, you can't unsee them. Terry's knowledge of political history, government operations and media manipulation techniques rivals university professors specializing in political science, though his conclusions differ significantly from academic consensus about how these systems actually function. His relationship with family members involves patient attempts to share research findings that they dismiss as conspiracy theories, creating social tension between his genuine concern for their welfare and their preference for avoiding controversial discussions. The hardest part isn't finding the truth, it's getting people to care about what you've discovered, Terry explains, while organising information that supports his theories about global coordination among powerful interests. Everyone's too busy with their regular lives to pay attention to what's really happening. The online research community recognises Terry as someone with legitimate investigative skills and valuable contributions to ongoing collaborative efforts to uncover information that official sources might prefer to keep hidden from public knowledge. His daily routine includes monitoring multiple news sources, fact-checking official statements through independent verification, and sharing discoveries with networks of people who appreciate thorough research over casual acceptance of presented information. I'm not anti-government, I'm pro-transparency, Terry clarifies while explaining his motivation for extensive research into political activities that might affect democratic processes. Government serves the people, not the other way around, and people deserve to know what's being done in their name. Terry's filing system organises research by topic, date, and credibility level, creating archives that demonstrate either impressive dedication to information gathering or concerning obsession with finding patterns in random events that don't actually connect meaningfully. The local library knows Terry as the patron who requests assistance, accessing government documents, researches historical precedents for current events, and occasionally provides recommendations for books about political science and investigative journalism techniques. The beautiful thing about independent research is you're not limited by someone else's interpretation of events, Terry observes while reviewing his latest findings about connections between various political and economic developments. You can follow the evidence wherever it leads instead of accepting predetermined conclusions. His network consists of researchers, former government employees, and concerned citizens who share information through platforms that prioritize free speech over content moderation, creating communities focused on investigation rather than entertainment. Terry genuinely believes that independent research, critical thinking, and information sharing protect democratic institutions from corruption while keeping citizens informed about activities that affect their lives. He's not entirely wrong that his methods sometimes produce conclusions that lack supporting evidence. You spend a month learning research techniques while developing appreciation for Terry's dedication to investigation and concerning awareness of how internet algorithms can amplify confirmation bias while creating the illusion of comprehensive research. Your next project involves religious community outreach, where you'll discover that Terry's research intensity pales in comparison to communities organized around spiritual warfare and biblical prophecy interpretation. Type 19. The Preacher. Your religious community outreach project connects you with faith-based organizations, where you discover that spiritual conviction can transform personal identity into permanent mission work that makes Terry's research dedication look like casual hobby involvement. You arrive at the megachurch and meet Pastor William Billy, righteous, 48 years old, and living proof that religious faith can become a complete worldview that interprets every aspect of human existence through biblical principles and spiritual warfare frameworks. Brother, welcome to God's house. Pastor Billy announces while wearing a suit that costs more than most people's monthly salary, but somehow communicates humility and divine authority simultaneously. The Lord has been preparing my heart for our meeting, and I believe he has mighty plans for what we'll accomplish together. Pastor Billy's morning routine starts at 5 a.m. with prayer, scripture study, and sermon preparation that treats every weekly message as potentially life-changing for congregation members who need spiritual guidance for navigating contemporary challenges through biblical wisdom. His office contains enough theological books to stock a seminary library, inspirational artwork featuring biblical scenes, and prayer request documentation that rivals social services case management for thoroughness and personal attention to individual spiritual needs. Everything happening in the world today was prophesied in Scripture, Pastor Billy explains while demonstrating his knowledge of biblical prophecy and its application to current events. We're living in the end times, and God is calling his people to spiritual preparation for what's coming. The local community knows Pastor Billy as the minister who provides counselling for personal crises, organises charitable activities that address practical needs, and maintains visibility at public events where spiritual guidance might benefit community welfare. Pastor Billy's approach to leadership involves treating every interaction as ministry opportunity, every decision as requiring prayer guidance, and every challenge as God's test of faith that strengthens character through divine grace and community support. My calling isn't just to preach on Sundays, it's to live the gospel every day. Pastor Billy clarifies while explaining his commitment to pastoral care that extends beyond formal church services to include personal relationship development with congregation members. His wardrobe consists entirely of professional attire selected for appropriateness across various ministry contexts, from casual community outreach to formal ceremonial occasions that require dignified presentation of spiritual authority and personal character. The church operates according to principles that combine traditional religious practices with modern organizational techniques designed to maximize ministry effectiveness while maintaining biblical authenticity and spiritual integrity. The church exists to serve God and serve people, Pastor Billy mentions while coordinating multiple ministry programs that address spiritual needs, practical assistance, and community development through faith-based approaches to social challenges. We're called to be salt and light in a world that desperately needs hope. Pastor Billy's knowledge of biblical theology, pastoral counseling, and organizational leadership rivals seminary professors and business consultants, though his motivations focus on spiritual rather than academic or financial success measures. His relationship with contemporary culture involves engaging modern issues through biblical perspectives, while maintaining traditional values that sometimes conflict with popular social trends, but provide moral foundation for community standards. Culture changes, but truth doesn't change. Pastor Billy explains while preparing sermons that address current events through scriptural interpretation. Our job is to speak God's truth in love, regardless of whether it's popular or politically correct. The congregation knows Pastor Billy as someone who provides spiritual guidance during personal crises, celebrates family milestones with appropriate ceremony, and maintains availability for counseling that combines prayer with practical advice for life challenges. His daily schedule includes prayer time, scripture study, administrative responsibilities, pastoral visits, and community engagement that balances spiritual duties with practical leadership requirements for managing large religious organization operations. Ministry is about relationships with God and with people. Pastor Billy observes while reviewing church programs that serve congregation members and community residents through various outreach initiatives. Everything else is just logistics to support those relationships. Pastor Billy's political engagement involves supporting policies that align with biblical values, while maintaining church tax-exempt status through careful navigation of regulations that limit direct political advocacy by religious organizations. The local interfaith community recognizes Pastor Billy as someone who participates in ecumenical activities while maintaining doctrinal integrity, contributing to community dialogue about moral issues without compromising theological convictions or denominational distinctives. The gospel is both personal and social. Pastor Billy clarifies while explaining his approach to ministry that addresses individual spiritual needs and community social issues through integrated faith-based programming. God cares about souls and societies. His family life operates according to biblical principles that prioritize marriage, parenting, and household management as ministry extensions that demonstrate authentic faith through private behavior that matches public teaching and community expectations. Pastor Billy's emergency pastoral care includes crisis counseling, hospital visits, funeral services, and spiritual support during disasters that require immediate response regardless of personal convenience or regular schedule disruptions. The denominational leadership knows Pastor Billy as minister, who maintains theological orthodoxy while achieving measurable ministry success through programs that combine spiritual growth with practical community service and effective organizational management. Pastor Billy genuinely believes that biblical faith, pastoral care, and Christian community provide essential foundations for individual flourishing and social stability. He's probably right, but his approach requires cultural values that prioritize spiritual over material considerations. You spend a month learning ministry operations while developing respect for Pastor Billy's dedication and appreciation for how religious communities provide social services that government programs often can't match for personal attention and emotional support. Your final consulting assignment takes you back to Silicon Valley for a different project, where you'll discover how religious conviction contrasts with the wellness industry's approach to personal optimization and lifestyle design. Type 20, the Silicon Valley Minimalist. Your wellness industry consulting project returns you to Silicon Valley, where you discover that technology wealth has created a subculture of people who spend enormous amounts of money to own as few possessions as possible, while optimizing their existence through expensive simplicity. You arrive at the meditation center and meet Zen Digital Detox. Harrison, 34 years old and living proof that you can turn rejecting material possessions into a lifestyle that requires significant financial investment and full-time commitment to personal optimization. "Welcome to my practice space," Zen announces while wearing one of his 2 identical organic cotton t-shirts that cost more than most people's entire wardrobes. "I've been expecting you. My morning meditation revealed that today would bring an opportunity for meaningful connection about conscious living." Zen's morning routine involves 45 minutes of meditation, ice bath therapy, and consumption of supplement regimens that require more planning than most people's meals. His apartment contains exactly 17 carefully selected items, each serving multiple purposes and costing approximately what normal people spend on furniture. His living space resembles an art installation about the relationship between wealth and emptiness. White walls, minimal furniture, and strategic lighting create an environment that communicates both spiritual enlightenment and the kind of expensive simplicity only available to people with unlimited budgets. "Most people are trapped by their possessions," Zen explains while demonstrating his capsule wardrobe that consists of identical items in neutral colours. "I've liberated myself from the burden of choice and the anxiety of accumulation through intentional scarcity and mindful consumption." The local wellness stores know Zen as the customer who researches every ingredient, questions sourcing practices, and purchases only products that meet strict criteria for purity, sustainability, and alignment with his personal optimization protocols. Zen's approach to nutrition involves consuming exactly the same breakfast every day for optimal digestive efficiency, cognitive performance, and decision fatigue reduction. His meals cost more per serving than most restaurant dinners, but eliminate the mental energy required for food choices. Decision fatigue is one of the biggest obstacles to peak performance. Zen clarifies while explaining his systematic approach to lifestyle design that eliminates unnecessary choices through predetermined protocols. Every decision you don't have to make preserves mental energy for more important activities. His technology usage follows strict protocols that limit screen time, eliminate social media, and focus digital interactions on productivity enhancement rather than entertainment consumption. Zen's phone contains exactly 7 apps, each serving essential functions without providing distraction opportunities. The biohacking community knows Zen as someone who tests optimization techniques, tracks biomarkers, and shares data about performance improvements achieved through various interventions that combine ancient wisdom with modern measurement technology. "I track everything because data reveals patterns that intuition might miss," Zen mentions while reviewing sleep quality measurements, heart rate variability, and cognitive performance metrics that guide adjustments to his optimization protocols. What gets measured gets managed. Zen's business model involves consulting with other high performers who want to achieve similar lifestyle optimization results through systematic elimination of complexity, distraction, and inefficiency from their daily routines and decision-making processes. His social life consists entirely of interactions with other optimization enthusiasts who share his interest in peak performance, longevity research, and lifestyle design principles that prioritize function over conventional social expectations or traditional markers of success. Most social activities are just elaborate forms of procrastination, Zen observes while explaining his selective approach to relationship management that focuses on meaningful connections rather than recreational socializing that doesn't contribute to personal growth objectives. The local gym recognizes Zen as the member who follows precise workout protocols, tracks every metric, and approaches fitness with the systematic dedication usually reserved for professional athletic training or scientific research projects. His transportation choices involve walking, cycling, or ride-sharing services that eliminate the complexity of vehicle ownership, while reducing environmental impact and decision-making requirements that interfere with mental clarity and time optimization. Owning a car means maintaining insurance, parking, repairs, and fuels, all decisions that fragment attention from more important priorities. Zen explains while describing his systematic approach to eliminating life complexity through service utilization rather than ownership responsibilities. Zen's knowledge of neuroscience, nutritional biochemistry, and performance optimization rivals university researchers specializing in human potential. though his applications focus on personal rather than academic outcomes. The venture capital community knows Zen as someone who applies systematic thinking to lifestyle design with the same rigor that successful entrepreneurs use for business development, creating personal operating systems that maximize output while minimizing input requirements. The goal isn't to have nothing, it's to have exactly what you need and nothing that doesn't serve your highest priorities. Zen clarifies while demonstrating his systematic approach to possession evaluation that treats every item as requiring justification for space allocation. His emergency preparedness involves maintaining exactly what's necessary for various scenarios without accumulating excess supplies that create storage requirements or decision complexity during crisis situations that require immediate action. Zen genuinely believes that systematic minimalism, optimization protocols, and intentional living create the foundation for maximum human potential while reducing the friction that prevents most people from achieving their goals. He's probably right, but his approach requires wealth and dedication that most people can't sustain. You spend your final month learning optimization techniques while developing appreciation for Zen's systematic approach and sobering awareness of how personal optimization can become another form of consumption that requires significant resources to maintain. Your year-long journey through American Stereotypes concludes with the realization that every extreme personality represents millions of people who found their own unique ways to pursue happiness, success, and meaning within the vast cultural experiment called America. Type 21, the Burnout High School Coach. Your education consulting project takes you to a suburban high school where you discover that some people's glory days happened 30 years ago, but continue to define their entire existence through sports metaphors and motivational speeches about championships that occurred during the Clinton administration. You arrive at the gymnasium and meet Coach Mike Thunder Kowalski, 56 years old, and living proof that high school athletic achievements can become permanent identity markers that resist all attempts at adult personality development or career evolution. "Welcome to my domain, sport," Coach Thunder announces while wearing the same style of athletic shorts he's worn since 1987 and a polo shirt that's seen more championship games than most professional broadcasters. Hope you're ready to learn what real coaching looks like from someone who's been building champions since before these kids were born. Coach Thunder's morning routine involves reliving highlight reels from 1998's state championship run, checking local sports pages for mentions of his former players, and consuming enough coffee to power small vehicles while planning practice sessions that somehow relate everything to life lessons about character building. His office resembles a shrine to teenage athletic achievement from previous decades. Championship banners, newspaper clippings, and team photos create a museum dedicated to the brief period when Coach Thunder was locally famous for producing winning basketball teams. These kids today don't understand what real commitment looks like, Coach Thunder explains, while demonstrating the same motivational techniques he's used for 3 decades. Back in '98, we had heart. We had grit. We understood that champions aren't made in the gym. They're made in the moments when nobody's watching. The local sports bar knows Coach Thunder as the customer who provides detailed analysis of current team performance compared to previous championship seasons, usually concluding that modern players lack the mental toughness that defined earlier generations of student athletes. Coach Thunder's approach to physical education involves treating every class like potential recruitment for the basketball team, every drill like preparation for state competition, and every student like they're capable of achieving athletic greatness through proper motivation and disciplinary commitment. Coaching isn't just about basketball, it's about molding young people into productive citizens. Coach Thunder clarifies while explaining his philosophy that competitive sports provide essential character development opportunities unavailable through other educational activities. The lessons they learn on this court will serve them for the rest of their lives. His daily uniform consists of athletic wear that communicates both authority and accessibility to students who need mentorship from someone who understands the connection between sports achievement and personal development through disciplined practice and team commitment. The school administration knows Coach Thunder as the teacher who volunteers for extra duties, maintains perfect attendance despite personal health issues, and genuinely cares about student success, even when his methods seem outdated compared to contemporary educational approaches. I've seen kids transform through basketball, Coach Thunder mentions while organising equipment that's been maintained through multiple decades of use. Shy kids become leaders, troubled kids find direction, and average kids discover they're capable of extraordinary things when they commit to something bigger than themselves. Coach Thunder's knowledge of basketball strategy, player development, and team psychology rivals professional coaching staff, though his applications focus on high school students rather than elite athletes pursuing college scholarships or professional careers. His relationship with technology involves reluctant adoption of tools that enhance coaching effectiveness, while maintaining preference for traditional methods that don't require constant software updates or electronic dependency for basic team management functions. All these fancy analytics and video systems are fine, but coaching is still about reading players' hearts and pushing them to exceed their own expectations. Coach Thunder explains, while demonstrating techniques that combine old-school motivation with modern performance measurement. The community knows Coach Thunder as someone who attends every local sporting event, provides encouragement to current coaches, and maintains relationships with former players who remember his influence on their character development during formative teenage years. His family life operates around basketball seasons, tournament schedules, and summer camps that provide additional income while maintaining year-round connection to the sport that defines his professional identity and personal satisfaction. The hardest part about coaching isn't the losses, it's watching kids waste their potential. Coach Thunder observes while reviewing current team performance compared to their capabilities. Every player has something special inside them. My job is helping them find it and develop it. Coach Thunder's emergency substitute teaching involves applying sports psychology to academic subjects, using athletic metaphors to explain non-sports concepts, and maintaining classroom discipline through techniques that work for team management. The athletic department recognizes Coach Thunder as institutional memory for school sports traditions, mentor for younger coaches, and advocate for funding that supports comprehensive athletic programs serving diverse student populations. Sports teach life lessons that you can't get anywhere else. Coach Thunder clarifies during a timeout between discussing educational philosophy and demonstrating proper free throw techniques. Teamwork, perseverance, handling pressure, dealing with failure, these are skills that transfer to everything else. His retirement planning involves continued involvement with school athletics through volunteer coaching, alumni events, and mentorship programs that maintain connections to the institution where he's invested 4 decades of professional energy. Coach Thunder genuinely believes that competitive athletics, disciplined training, and team commitment provide essential educational experiences that develop character while teaching practical life skills. He's probably right, but his approach sometimes struggles to adapt to changing student needs and contemporary educational priorities. You spend 3 weeks learning traditional coaching methods while developing respect for Coach Thunder's dedication and appreciation for how athletic programs provide students with mentorship, opportunities that academic classes often can't match for personal development. Your next project involves urban culture consulting, where you'll discover that suburban athletic dedication contrasts sharply with metropolitan hipster culture and its approach to authenticity. Type 22, the urban hipster. Your urban culture consulting project takes you to Brooklyn, where you discover that authenticity has become a performance art form, requiring extensive research into obscure cultural references and strategic consumption of artisanal products that cost more than most people's groceries. You arrive at the coffee shop and meet Jasper Vinyl Moonfield, 29 years old and living proof that rejecting mainstream culture requires full-time commitment to alternative lifestyle choices that somehow end up costing significantly more than the conventional options they're meant to replace. "Oh, you probably haven't heard of this place," Jasper announces, while adjusting his vintage eyeglasses that don't contain prescription lenses. It's like the best-kept secret in Williamsburg. They roast their own beans using methods from 1920s. Vienna, and the barista trained under this incredible artisan in Portland, who only works with single-origin Ethiopian varieties. Jasper's morning routine involves checking vinyl record prices, reading music blogs about bands that don't exist yet, and consuming coffee that requires more preparation time than most people's entire breakfast routine, while planning daily activities that avoid anything remotely popular or mainstream. His apartment resembles a carefully curated museum of authentic cultural artifacts. Vintage furniture discovered at estate sales, concert posters from venues that closed before he was born, and books selected more for aesthetic appeal than reading enjoyment create an environment that communicates sophisticated taste. I don't really watch television, Jasper explains while demonstrating his collection of obscure foreign films that require subtitles and cultural context most people lack. Mass media is basically cultural poison. I prefer experiencing art that challenges conventional thinking and expands consciousness through authentic creative expression. The local record stores know Jasper as the customer who spends hours researching pressing details, discusses audio quality with technical expertise, and purchases albums by artists nobody has discovered yet, but will probably become commercially successful within 2 years. Jasper's wardrobe consists entirely of thrift store discoveries, vintage pieces, and handmade accessories that communicate both economic consciousness and aesthetic sophistication, while somehow costing more than conventional clothing through careful curation and strategic shopping. Fast fashion is destroying both the environment and authentic style. Jasper clarifies while explaining his approach to clothing selection that prioritizes uniqueness over convenience. Everything I wear has history and character. These clothes tell stories about previous owners and cultural moments. His transportation involves a fixed-gear bicycle that lacks practical features like multiple gears or brakes, but provides both environmental responsibility and street credibility among people who understand that functional efficiency is less important than aesthetic authenticity. The neighborhood coffee shops rotate through Jasper's patronage based on their current level of mainstream discovery. Once a place becomes too popular, he moves on to protect his reputation for finding authentic experiences before they become commercialized tourist attractions. I was really into that band before they got signed, Jasper mentions while discussing his music preferences, that seem to involve abandoning artists immediately after they achieve any commercial success. Their early demos were incredible, but you can't maintain artistic integrity once you start caring about album sales. Jasper's knowledge of underground music, independent films, and alternative art rivals professional critics and cultural historians, though his expertise focuses on discovering trends rather than understanding historical context or artistic significance beyond authenticity credentials. His social life consists entirely of gallery openings, underground concerts, and cultural events that attract people who dress similarly and share his commitment to experiencing art that hasn't been corrupted by mainstream commercial interests. Most people don't understand the difference between authentic culture and manufactured entertainment, Jasper explains while demonstrating his ability to identify corporate influence in seemingly independent artistic productions. Real art comes from genuine creative expression, not market research and focus groups. The local galleries know Jasper as someone who attends every opening, provides thoughtful commentary about artistic merit, and occasionally purchases pieces by emerging artists whose work will either become valuable or remain permanently obscure. His approach to food involves seeking restaurants that most people haven't discovered, ordering items that require explanation, and maintaining detailed opinions about ingredients sourcing, preparation techniques, and cultural authenticity that make dining experiences educational rather than merely nutritional. I don't eat anywhere that has more than 20 seats or accepts credit cards. Jasper clarifies while explaining his restaurant selection criteria. The best food comes from places that prioritize quality over convenience. If tourists can find it easily, it's probably not worth eating. Jasper's relationship with technology involves using devices that serve functional purposes without providing mainstream entertainment or social media connectivity that might compromise his independence from corporate manipulation and algorithmic influence on personal preferences. The creative community recognizes Jasper as someone with genuine appreciation for artistic innovation, financial support for emerging talents, and enough cultural knowledge to provide valuable feedback about work that challenges conventional aesthetic expectations. Supporting independent artists is basically cultural activism, Jasper observes while explaining his purchasing decisions that prioritize authenticity over affordability. Every dollar you spend on mass-produced entertainment strengthens corporate control over creative expression. His apartment rent consumes most of his income, but Jasper considers location essential for maintaining access to cultural opportunities that wouldn't exist in cheaper neighborhoods, where authentic artistic communities haven't developed yet. The vintage stores know Jasper as the customer who recognizes valuable pieces, negotiates prices based on historical significance, and occasionally discovers items that become centerpieces for his carefully curated living space that communicates sophisticated taste. Authenticity requires effort, Jasper mentions while explaining his lifestyle choices that prioritize cultural exploration over convenience or economic efficiency. Most people just accept whatever's easiest instead of seeking experiences that actually enrich their understanding of human creativity. His future plans involve maintaining cultural exploration while possibly starting creative projects that contribute to authentic artistic communities rather than pursuing careers that might compromise his independence from mainstream commercial pressures. Jasper genuinely believes that independent culture, artistic authenticity, and resistance to commercialization preserve human creativity while providing alternatives to corporate entertainment that treats audiences as consumers rather than participants in cultural development. He's probably right, but his approach requires financial resources that most people lack. You spend a month learning alternative culture navigation while developing appreciation for Jasper's commitment to authenticity and concerning awareness of how cultural elitism can become another form of consumption that excludes people based on knowledge rather than wealth. Your next consulting project involves rural emergency preparedness, where you'll discover that urban cultural sophistication contrasts dramatically with communities organized around self-sufficiency and survival planning. Type 23, the conspiracy prepper. Your emergency preparedness consulting project takes you to rural Idaho, where you discover that some Americans have turned disaster planning into lifestyle philosophy that makes Jake's off-grid ranch look like casual weekend camping, and Terry's research operation seem like light recreational reading. You arrive at the compound and meet Captain Rex, Doomsday, patriot, 45 years old, and living proof that you can prepare for every possible catastrophe while creating a lifestyle that most people would consider catastrophic under normal circumstances. Welcome to the last free zone in America, Rex announces while conducting a security sweep that involves checking perimeters, scanning for surveillance equipment, and ensuring that your arrival hasn't compromised operational security. Hope you came prepared for reality, because everything you think you know about safety is corporate propaganda designed to keep people dependent on systems that will fail when they're needed most. Rex's morning routine involves monitoring global threat assessments, checking emergency supply inventories, and reviewing survival protocols for scenarios ranging from economic collapse to electromagnetic pulse attacks that could eliminate modern technology overnight. His property operates as both family residence and survival training facility. Underground bunkers, renewable energy systems, water purification equipment, and enough stored supplies to survive independently for several years without external support or government assistance. Most people live in a fantasy where they think civilization will always provide food, water, electricity, and security. Rex explains while demonstrating equipment that functions without depending on infrastructure that might become unavailable during crisis situations. When reality hits, preparation will be the difference between survival and becoming a casualty statistic. The local hardware stores know Rex as the customer who purchases unusual combinations of items in bulk quantities, pays exclusively in cash, and occasionally provides advice about equipment modifications that improve functionality for emergency applications. Rex's knowledge of survival techniques, emergency medicine and self-defense strategies rivals military special forces training, though his applications focus on civilian family protection rather than professional military operations or law enforcement activities. "I'm not paranoid, I'm prepared," Rex clarifies while showing you communication equipment that operates independently of commercial networks. "Paranoid people worry about imaginary threats. I prepare for documented historical patterns that repeat throughout human civilization." His daily routine includes physical training, equipment maintenance, skill development, and family education that treats survival preparation as essential life knowledge rather than recreational hobby activities that most people pursue for entertainment rather than practical application. The bunker contains enough food to feed his family for 2 years, medical supplies that would stock a small clinic, and defensive equipment for protecting resources from people who failed to prepare adequately for predictable crisis scenarios. Every empire in history eventually collapsed, and America isn't immune to the same forces that destroyed previous civilizations. Rex mentions while explaining his motivation for extensive preparation, economic systems fail, governments become tyrannical, and natural disasters disrupt supply chains that most people depend on completely. Rex's approach to family education involves teaching children skills that most modern kids never learn: food preservation, basic medical care, mechanical repair, and self-reliance techniques that were common knowledge for previous generations but have been lost through technological dependency. His business model involves selling survival supplies, teaching preparedness courses, and consulting with other families who recognize the importance of emergency planning but lack the knowledge or resources to implement comprehensive preparation strategies. "I'm not hoping for disaster, I'm preparing for reality," Rex explains, while demonstrating solar power systems that provide electricity without depending on power grids that could fail during natural disasters or targeted attacks. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and accept what actually happens. The preparedness community knows Rex as someone with legitimate expertise, practical experience, and proven ability to maintain self-sufficient lifestyle that doesn't depend on systems that might become unavailable during emergency situations. His library contains technical manuals, historical analysis of civilizational collapse, and practical guides for skills that become essential when modern conveniences are temporarily or permanently unavailable due to various crisis scenarios. The government has contingency plans for continuity of operations, but they don't have plans for taking care of you during emergencies. Rex observes while reviewing family emergency protocols, individual preparation is personal responsibility, not government obligation. Rex's vehicle maintenance includes modifications that improve reliability, fuel efficiency, and utility for transportation during conditions that might challenge conventional automotive performance or availability of commercial fuel supplies. The local medical professionals know Rex as someone with advanced first aid training, well-stocked medical supplies, and enough knowledge to provide emergency care when professional medical services might be unavailable or overwhelmed during disaster situations. Most people's emergency plan consists of calling 911 and hoping someone else will solve their problems. Rex mentions while explaining family security procedures. During real emergencies, you're responsible for your own safety, and help might not be available for days or weeks. His children receive education that combines traditional academic subjects with practical skills that most modern educational systems don't teach: hunting, fishing, gardening, mechanical repair, and critical thinking that questions official narratives about security and safety. Rex genuinely believes that individual preparedness, family self-reliance, and skepticism about institutional promises create the foundation for surviving disruptions that periodically challenge civilizational stability. He's probably right, but his lifestyle requires dedication and resources that most people can't maintain while participating in normal social and economic activities. You spend 3 weeks learning survival skills while developing respect for Rex's competence and sobering awareness of how dependent modern life has become on systems that might not always function reliably during crisis situations. Your next project involves military family support services, where you'll discover that survival preparation mindset translates into different forms of service-oriented community building. Type 24. The military kid turned traveller. Your military family support consulting project connects you with transition services, where you discover that some Americans have experienced so much geographic relocation during childhood that they've developed permanent nomadic tendencies and adaptability skills that make Rex's preparedness training look location-specific. You meet Amanda Nomad Rodriguez at the airport coffee shop, 31 years old and living proof that growing up in military families creates adults who treat the entire world as home while never quite belonging anywhere permanently. Sir, sorry, force of habit. Amanda corrects herself while extending a handshake that communicates both respect and confidence. I'm Amanda, but most people call me Nomad. Been moving my whole life, and I guess I never learned how to stop. Currently between assignments and loving every minute of the uncertainty. Amanda's morning routine involves checking flight prices to destinations she's never visited, reviewing travel documentation that she maintains for multiple countries, and planning itineraries that maximize cultural experiences while minimizing attachment to any particular location or community. Her apartment contains exactly enough possessions to fit in 2 suitcases, with furniture rented by the month and personal items selected for portability rather than sentimental value. Amanda's lifestyle reflects military efficiency applied to civilian nomadic existence. I lived on 14 different military bases before I turned 18, Amanda explains, while demonstrating her packing system that reduces entire life contents to airline carry-on dimensions. By the time I graduated high school, I had attended 9 different schools in 6 different states and 2 foreign countries. The travel industry knows Amanda as someone who researches destinations thoroughly, travels efficiently, and provides reliable reviews about accommodations, transportation and cultural experiences that help other travelers navigate unfamiliar locations. Amanda's approach to relationships involves maintaining connections across multiple continents through digital communication, while accepting that geographic distance prevents traditional relationship development that requires physical proximity and community stability. Most people spend their whole lives in one place and think that's normal, Amanda observes while planning her next destination based on seasonal weather patterns and visa requirements. I can't imagine being tied down to one location when there's so much world to explore and experience. Her career involves remote work that provides location independence, consulting projects that utilize her cross-cultural experience, and freelance opportunities that generate income regardless of geographic location or time zone differences. The international travel community recognizes Amanda as someone with practical experience navigating different cultures, languages, and customs, while maintaining perspective that comes from constant exposure to diverse approaches to life and social organization. Military families develop adaptation skills that most civilians never need. Amanda explains while demonstrating her ability to research local customs, learn basic language phrases, and identify cultural norms that help travelers avoid misunderstandings. We learned to fit in anywhere because we had to. Amanda's knowledge of global geography, cultural differences, and international systems rivals professional diplomats and international business consultants, though her expertise comes from personal experience rather than formal education or training. Her social life consists of connections with fellow travelers, expatriate communities, and international networks that provide friendship and support regardless of current geographic location or future travel plans that might require sudden departure. The hardest part about constant moving isn't logistics. It's explaining to people why you don't have a hometown. Amanda mentions while describing her relationship with identity questions that assume geographic stability. When people ask where you're from, there's no simple answer. The military community knows Amanda as someone who understands deployment stress, family separation challenges, and transition difficulties that affect service members and their families during relocations that disrupt social connections and community ties. Her emergency preparedness involves maintaining documentation, financial resources, and practical skills that enable rapid relocation under various circumstances that might require immediate departure from current location. I learned to make friends quickly and say goodbye gracefully, Amanda explains while describing social skills that develop through repeated exposure to temporary community membership. Every relationship is valuable, even when you know it won't last forever. Amanda's living spaces always include maps, cultural artifacts, and photographs that represent places she's lived and people she's met during travels that create personal history, spanning multiple continents and cultural contexts. Her approach to consumer goods involves purchasing quality items that serve multiple purposes, last through various climates, and provide functionality without creating excessive attachment that might interfere with future mobility decisions. Home isn't a place, it's a feeling. Amanda clarifies while describing her relationship with geographic identity. I can create home anywhere with the right people and enough time to establish routine and connection. The expatriate community recognizes Amanda as someone who provides practical advice for international transitions, cultural navigation, and maintaining relationships across geographic distances that challenge traditional friendship and family connections. Amanda's future plans involve continued travel, potential international humanitarian work, and maintaining lifestyle flexibility that accommodates opportunities requiring geographic mobility while building career experience that translates across cultural boundaries. Her language skills include conversational ability in 4 languages and basic communication capability in 6 others, developed through practical necessity rather than formal education, but sufficient for navigating most international travel situations. Amanda genuinely believes that cultural exposure, geographic flexibility, and adaptability skills provide essential preparation for increasingly global society, while offering personal growth opportunities unavailable through geographically stable lifestyles. She's probably right, but her approach requires sacrificing community roots and long-term local relationships that provide different forms of social support. You spend a month learning international travel strategies while developing appreciation for Amanda's adaptability and recognition of how military family experience creates citizens who understand America's global presence through personal rather than political perspectives. Your final consulting assignment takes you to suburban America, where you'll discover that Amanda's global nomadic lifestyle contrasts perfectly with the ultimate expression of American suburban stability. Type 25. The suburban dad who loves grilling. Your final consulting project brings you full circle to suburban America, where you discover that some men have transformed backyard cooking into spiritual practice that combines engineering precision with territorial pride and seasonal celebration of meat preparation techniques. You arrive at the neighborhood barbecue and meet Dave Grill Master Johnson, 47 years old and living proof that middle-aged American men can find profound meaning in perfect temperature control and the ancient ritual of cooking animal protein over controlled fire. Welcome to my outdoor kitchen, Dave announces while wearing an apron that reads Grill Sergeant and adjusting equipment that costs more than most people's indoor appliances. Hope you brought your appetite because we're about to experience some serious barbecue science. I've been smoking this brisket for 14 hours using a temperature control system I designed myself. Dave's weekend routine revolves entirely around meal planning that prioritizes outdoor cooking opportunities, weather monitoring for optimal grilling conditions, and equipment maintenance that rivals professional restaurant kitchen management for attention to detail and systematic organization. His backyard represents the pinnacle of suburban male achievement. Professional-grade grilling equipment, outdoor seating areas, and entertainment systems create an environment designed specifically for hosting gatherings that showcase both cooking skills and hospitality capabilities. grilling isn't just cooking, it's chemistry, physics, and art combined. Dave explains while demonstrating temperature monitoring techniques that involve multiple thermometers, smartphone apps, and timing protocols that ensure optimal results. Anyone can throw meat on a fire, but real barbecue requires understanding heat distribution, moisture control, and flavor development. The local hardware store knows Dave as the customer who researches grilling accessories with engineering precision, discusses fuel efficiency with technical expertise, and occasionally provides advice about outdoor cooking equipment that improves neighborhood barbecue capabilities. Dave's approach to meal preparation treats every gathering like catering opportunity that requires advanced planning, ingredient sourcing, and coordination skills that demonstrate both competence and generosity to family members and neighborhood friends. My secret is low and slow cooking with hardwood smoke, Dave clarifies while tending to multiple cooking zones that accommodate different proteins requiring various preparation techniques. Most people rush the process, but great barbecue can't be hurried. It's ready when it's ready. His garage contains enough grilling supplies to stock a barbecue restaurant, specialty rubs, smoking woods, replacement parts, and backup equipment that ensures cooking capability, regardless of weather conditions or mechanical failures that might threaten meal preparation. The neighborhood association knows Dave as the resident expert who organizes community events, provides grilling education for less experienced cooks, and maintains outdoor spaces that enhance property values through attractive landscaping and entertainment facilities. There's something primal about cooking over fire, Dave observes while explaining his connection to grilling, that transcends mere food preparation. It connects you to thousands of years of human tradition while providing modern family gathering opportunities that create lasting memories. Dave's knowledge of meat selection, cooking techniques, and flavor enhancement rivals professional chefs and barbecue competition judges, though his applications focus on family satisfaction rather than commercial success or culinary recognition. His social life operates around seasonal grilling opportunities, neighborhood gatherings, and family celebrations that provide excuses for outdoor cooking projects that demonstrate both skill development and community contribution through shared meal experiences. The grill is where I do my best thinking, Dave mentions while managing multiple cooking processes simultaneously. There's something meditative about tending fire, monitoring temperatures, and timing everything perfectly for maximum flavor development. The local barbecue supply stores recognize Dave as someone who understands quality equipment, appreciates craftsmanship, and provides valuable feedback about product performance during extensive testing through regular outdoor cooking activities. His lawn maintenance operates according to aesthetic standards that create appropriate settings for outdoor entertainment, with landscaping designed to complement grilling areas while providing comfortable environments for guests during various weather conditions. Good barbecue brings people together, Dave explains while preparing side dishes that accompany grilled proteins. Food tastes better when it's shared with family and friends, and outdoor cooking creates a relaxed atmosphere that encourages conversation and connection. Dave's emergency preparedness includes backup grilling equipment, alternative fuel sources, an emergency cooking capability that could provide neighborhood meal services during power outages or natural disasters that disrupt normal food preparation. The homeowner's insurance company knows Dave as the policyholder who maintains outdoor cooking equipment according to safety protocols, follows fire prevention guidelines, and demonstrates responsible use of potentially hazardous equipment through consistent safety practices. Grilling is seasonal therapy, Dave clarifies while explaining his year-round outdoor cooking schedule that adapts to weather conditions while maintaining regular practice and skill development. Even winter grilling has its place when you understand proper technique and have appropriate equipment. His collection of grilling cookbooks, online recipe research, and technique experimentation demonstrates a lifelong learning approach that treats cooking as evolving skill set rather than static hobby that doesn't require continued improvement and innovation. Dave genuinely believes that outdoor cooking, family gatherings and neighborhood community building create the foundation for suburban satisfaction while providing masculine identity expression through practical skill demonstration. He's probably right, and his approach offers accessible achievement that most people can afford and enjoy. You conclude your year-long journey through American stereotypes at Dave's Backyard Barbecue, surrounded by neighbors representing various aspects of American life, eating perfectly grilled food while reflecting on the fascinating diversity of ways people pursue happiness in the land of the free and the home of the brave. Each stereotype you've encountered represents millions of real Americans who've found their own unique approaches to success, meaning, and community within the vast cultural experiment that continues to evolve with each generation's interpretation of what it means to be American.